Buttler has just clattered this one straight into the building site at Cow Corner. Welcome back to the bowling crease. Now go and fetch it, son.
Over the ball of full length and over the top of extra cover. Buttler makes it look easy. He gets another boundary. That is flying at short mid wicket, and it will go away for 4. That's Buttler.
And Buttler's short, getting the short ball and pulls it. That's gone big, that's gone far, and that 6 seals the deal for England.
He's such a high quality player and obviously played so much for England, and he loves playing for England, and I think there's still a lot more for him to play as well. So hopefully the next couple of years there's some more trophies to add to his 400 or so games. So it's pretty cool, and I'm sure we'll all be very proud of him.
So today marks Jos Buttler passing James Anderson as the player with the most all-time England appearances at 402 appearances, 57 tests, 199 one-day internationals, and from today 146 T20s. Incredible achievement for Jos Buttler. Tudes, I mean, he's England's greatest ever white ball batter, isn't he? I mean, you played with a couple, certainly were in and around the team for a couple of absolute legends, but I can't think of anyone I would pick ahead of him.
No, totally agree. 57 test matches, he did well, but it sort of wasn't his forte. With his hands outside, he used to get caught in slip, but when it comes to the white ball form, we have not had a better player. He's destructive. Just the way he's able to analyse, especially in a run chase, when to go, when to bed in. He plays 360. I was only hearing something earlier today, Aaron Finch talking about during one of the World Cups that as a captain you sort of lose sleep a little bit where you're going to bowl to him, the field you're going to have, because he can make a mockery out of that. And it's just his longevity to do what he's done for a long time, and then on the franchise circuit go around the world and dominate as well. He has been truly world class, and I always love when he goes. I love watching him bat, and I love watching Jofra Archer bowl. That is my excitement in the world game.
I'm with that as well. I love watching Jos Buttler bat, and when England are winning and he's not actually hitting the highest marks, that's when you get even more excited, because you think, hang on, this England team can do something special. Brilliant stuff. Jos Buttler then reaching England appearance number 402. You're joining us on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel for live and exclusive coverage of the second T20 between Sri Lanka and England. Time now, though, to get a quick weather report, thanks to QuickFit.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report.
With QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
When England's coverage started out on TalkSport 2, after a hiatus, we did cover a lot of cricket at turn of the century. Our first tour was in Sri Lanka during monsoon season, and before long, Andrew the Weatherman McKenna got a new role. He used to go out onto the outfield and essentially stick his finger in a puddle, put a microphone near it, waggle his finger, and let us hear the sound effects. I'm not going to ask TalkSport producer and reporter Scott Taylor to do the same thing, thankfully, and mainly because I think, Scott, I'm right in saying, unlike the first T20, it's actually dry at the moment.
Yeah, no splashometer required here, John, in Pallekele. It's a fantastic day today in terms of the weather. 30 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. There is now, of course, some dark clouds rolling in, but I've been told that we should miss that and should get a full game in here in Kandy. So that's the good news. And the more good news for the TalkSport Cricket YouTube viewers, if you liked Steve Harmison's outfit in the second ODI, you're in for a treat.
Well, I'm just watching it on the screen, actually. I'm not sure how you describe this. He looks like he's about to serve some food, doesn't he?
Well, the thing is, John, you can only see the top half, and I can inform you that the bottom half doesn't match the top half. He's gone very... he's done halves with his outfit today, which is very disappointing. Wow. He's not committed.
Did you play golf? Did he play golf this morning with Gladstone Small wearing that attire?
No, he didn't. No, he had his shorts on, he had his t-shirts on. Got sunburnt like the rest of us, but yeah.
Brilliant.
We live and learn, John. We live and learn.
Well, I don't know about the learning, but yeah, you're certainly living. Scott, thank you very much. That was today's weather report, brought to you by QuickFit, with over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week. They are always there when you need them.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report.
With QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Well, England are blessed with a few all-rounders of note, and we've got one too. Scott Taylor, remember him? Has been speaking with Adil Rashid. The spinner saying England have all the tools to go far in the World Cup.
It's nice when you look at that. You've got world-class batters, you've got world-class bowlers, all-rounders. You know, we've got a lot of bases covered, but like I said, Joff coming back now, it's a big positive for us. World-class bowler, you know, X-factor bowler, balls quick, make things happen, so it's a big plus for us. And just generally as well, not just the 11 that are playing, but even the whole squad. We've got a good squad, but like I say, it's all on the day. It all depends how we play on the day, but hopefully we can, you know, take the momentum from here into the next game, the next, and then hopefully into the World Cup.
Okay, that was Adil Rashid speaking with TalkSport's Scott Taylor. Roshan Abasinghe and Steve Harmison are waiting to pick up commentary in about 5 minutes' time. I'm not sure why Roshan is wearing the quite smart blue shirt, slacks and smart shoes, and Harmy is wearing the has gone native. Maybe that's just how he and what he dresses in Ashington these days as well. Adil Rashid speaking there, saying that England have all the tools to go far in the World Cup. What's your favourite tool in the box? What is the one that you cannot live without? Because, you know, Jofra Archer coming back into this side, you know, you can have tools all you like, but you need something special, don't you? And with Archer in this side, he completely changes the makeup of it. Yeah,
100%. He gives you that pace, he gives you accuracy, he gives you control. And he also gives you, at the end, he gives you deft bowling, those Yorkers, slower balls. So it's a great tool to have. Obviously, people around the world know about him as well. Left-handers, a nightmare just going across them. He can slide up on you as a left-hander as well with a quick swinging ball back into you. His control of length for someone who bowls at his speed, it's a great asset. I know he makes it look ridiculously easy when he does bowl, but to have that control and bowl at 90 plus is just jealous, because I didn't bowl at nowhere near that pace. I was mid-80s and I didn't have that control that he has, so it's a great asset to have. I know all the captains, be it, you know, Ben Stokes for the tests and Harry Brook for the one-dayers, when he's in the side, he just gives you that air of confidence that you've got a little bit of stardust in your bowling lineup.
Let's look at Sri Lanka, because I think we both enjoyed watching Patarana bowl, didn't we, in that first T20. He has come back from a quite serious shoulder injury. He's battled a little bit of a drop-off in form. That's, of course, affected his confidence a touch. Still a young guy making his way in the game, but he's got something extraordinary about him. And when you look through the Sri Lanka lineup, I'm not sure you would take too many of their batters, right? But their bowlers, I think England can cast a little bit of an envious eye, and he would certainly be one of those that would be fascinating to see how he will go, and it'd be interesting to see how he goes today. Yeah, no, I love it. I love to see the different nuances in bowling actions. You know, someone who coaches, I try not to mess with the bowlers too much. I can imagine if he was in our system, in the English system, and he was seen early, they would have tried to change him and try to get him like Brett Lee, because that's all what the coaches used to do in that day. And I remember Jeff Arnold, my old bowling coach, he saw me when I went away with the English Academy, and they tried to get me like Brett Lee. He was like, get rid of that foolishness. Did you see Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh bowling like that? Be your own. And obviously I took it on charge. And as a Patharana, I mean, it's fantastic. He bowls at 93, 94 miles an hour, slingy action. As a batter, you can't pick up any real triggers of when he's going to let go of the ball, because he's got this slingy action. He gets you up there, bowls extremely quick. He has his slower balls, bouncer as well. So you're frightened as a batter, getting hit on the toe, getting hit in the head. It's not something that you would want. And he's most probably the one person in that lineup that you would throw into that England team. Faster than Jofra Archer as well. I mean, you said he was the quickest. Just factor that in. You know, and also he can go quicker as well, and will do. It's, as I say, he's just getting back from a shoulder injury. So, you know, I thought he was I thought that was phenomenal. I tell you what, let's head out to the middle for a pitch report with Russell Arnold.
For everyone, if you wanted to hit through the line, there was runs. The spinners got a little bit of turn. The faster bowlers were able to get their skills out, and it gave them something. But what stood out for me though is the spin. Where were they more effective? When they pitched outside the line of the stumps. So what you do is vary, keep firing it in, and when you use your flight and the slowness through the air, you've got to go slightly outside the line of the stumps. That's where it's effective. If you stick to in line with the stumps, where the pitch is very good, you can keep hitting through the line and there's not much pressure on the batters. So you've got to be very, very clever. England were awesome in picking up those angles and the line that was effective here, because we all know it's spin that will dominate here. Well, Sri Lanka batting first, I think they'll need to target something around 160 to stay competitive.
Russell Arnold there with the pitch report. Thanks to the World Feed, TNT, for that. Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? Pace went around the park at times. Malinga pulled it back, but he was expensive at the start. And Sam Curran was very expensive from 2 overs. Jofra went at over 7. Overton was a bit boom and bust. Big shots and then dot balls and wickets. I mean, bowled well. I liked what he did. But it was the spin that made the difference between the two sides in the end, because Sri Lanka completely lost their way.
No, I totally agree, John. It was England with their bowlers, Adil Rashid, the old heads, and Liam Dawson. Their 8 overs costing 50. But the important thing, look in the wicket column, 5 wickets. And just the difference, you know, Adil Rashid, yes, he doesn't bowl that leg spinner that's quick. He does loop it. And in this day and age, in where the grounds are locked,
the pennies dropped. Pay a low flat fee and keep the money you make. Interactive investor. I think, therefore I.
To extend their arms at all, tucking them for room. It's a great partnership, and Harry Brook can throw it to them in the middle periods, not only to get wickets, but to keep the runs down.
In the first T20, we were slightly surprised that Sam Curran opened the bowling. Well, he's going to do so again. He went for 16 runs from his first over, and he is just past the umpire now. First ball of the second T20, and it's defended down the track to mid-off. And we're up and underway. Sri Lanka being asked to bat first. Shana, the captain, Shanaka, not sounding too disappointed. He actually sounded like he might have batted first himself. England want to control the chase, so they are bowling first. Harry Brook with ball in hand. He's not about to bowl, he's just waiting to get his field ready. Another really good crowd, as you'd imagine, on a Sunday night in Kandy. This is the main event in town. And here is Curran again. Down the wicket comes Nisanka. It's a thick outside edge which is flown through vacant slip and down to the boundary. And Sri Lanka have picked up 4. Won't score too many runs in that fashion, but certainly effective without a slip in place. The batter trying to really flick this ball through mid-wicket, gets a thick outside edge, and there's a short third, but no slip.
Nisanka's he's pleasing on the eye. It wasn't much pleasing on that, but again, look in the book, it's 4.
Nisanka readies himself down the track and just clips this fine. A shot of peril. If he misses that, he's going to be hitting the pad slap in front of the wicket. But Nisanka's got good connection. Sri Lanka moved to 8 without loss after 3 deliveries. And what better time to head to Sri Lanka, where Steve Harmison, former England fast bowler, and Sri Lankan broadcaster Roshan Abhisinga ready to pick up.
Thank you, John. Yes, it's a lovely evening at the Pallekele International Stadium. And Sri Lanka once more, as they did in the first game, have got off to a good start. And the one at the receiving end has been Sam Curran, who comes in from over the wicket and bowls short, and it's gone over the top, and it's gone all the way. I'm just wondering whether it's 6. It's just confirmed. For a moment I thought it was 6, but then, well,
I think it's 4. Yeah, I think he will be asked to have a look and change his mind. And looking at it, it looked as though it was a 4. It was a shocking ball. I mean, whatever it is, sixer probably deserved to go for 6. Sam Curran's bowled a bouncer, a wide bouncer, 6-7 stump line with short third, short fine leg inside the circle. I mean, it was a poor delivery from Sam Curran, and it's bounced just inside the rope. 12 off the first over so far, and again, Sam Curran come back from it with a hat-trick the other night, but he hasn't started well again.
Well done, Harmy. Good pair of eyes. 3 boundaries after a dot of the first. So Curran has conceded 12. Nissanka's got all 12. Here is Curran again to bowl to Nissanka, who is steering it to Rashid, who does well. Nissanka was interested in the single. Rashid couldn't pick it up, and that allowed Kamil Mishra to quickly send Pathum Nissanka back. You could look at Nissanka. If we did get on our screen a replay as showing Nissanka looking to charge, looking to come down the pitch against the fast bowler.
Yeah, but it was still a strange delivery from Curran with the players behind square, all inside the circle.
Curran comes in, bowls down the leg side, should be a wide. It is. So he's conceded 13. He's bowling with pace on. That's his average speed. It's around 130, 128 to 130. Just swinging down the leg side again, yet again, not having a great start to his spell. Well, he was pretty unlucky the first ball as he went hard, went off the outside edge. But the next 2 boundaries, you did see Pathum Nissanka very much in control. The last ball of the over. Here comes Curran, bowls, and Nissanka drops it and runs quickly with it, and not picked up cleanly at mid-off. A single to end the over. Sri Lanka makes 14 runs on the first over, with Nissanka scoring 13 and 1 wide. You're listening to Talk Sport 2 and Talk Sport Cricket YouTube channel.
Good start, really good start from Sri Lanka. Pitch seems as though we've only had one over, but it'd be interesting to see how Jofra goes here, because it looks as though it skidded on that little bit more. It felt as though it was a little bit stoppy, a little bit tacky, staying in the pitch the other night. This one looks as though possibly because there was a little bit of rain around, possibly because the covers were on it for quite a long time on Friday night. This looks as though it's a little bit drier, possibly, and there's a little bit more carry through to the wicketkeeper. That's what it looked like when Pearce on from Sam Curran.
Archer comes in. First ball, a swinging delivery. Turns out to be a full toss. Adil Rashid gets his hands to it at short fine leg, but still cannot prevent Sri Lanka getting 2 runs. Going for the Yorker and swinging late onto the pads.
Gone for the in-swinging Yorker. If you remember Roshan in the first game, Jofra, in the first 2 overs, I didn't think he bowled any extras, so we 12 balls, and I think about 5 or 6 of them were Yorkers. I wonder if Sri Lanka have seen that and thought, right, can we utilise the fact that Jofra's going to go Yorker, and can they use leg side?
That's the balls. Oh, what a shot! That is a magnificent shot. It's gone all the way for 6. That was pace on, and Pathum Nissanka just whipped it. Tremendous shot.
Pearce on, slot ball, out the ground. New balls, please. That's massive. What a shot this is. Straight over the top of Will Jacks, out at deep square leg. It's bounced off what I think looks like possibly a toilet block. There's a huge white cricket ball on top of that. It's bounced off the roof into the trees, and I think the 3rd umpire or the 4th umpire is going to have to run on. Interesting to see Jofra Archer when he was walking back there on the replay. He shrugged his shoulders and you read his lips, and it was good shot, he said, and it was a fantastic shot. Ball's going in towards leg stump, 88 miles per hour, and there was an easy pick-up flick over the leg side, and the game stopped because the ball has gone out of the ground.
Well, we're getting a replay on that shot, just marginally short, and Nissanka was very quickly onto it, latched onto it, over square leg, and it went the distance. It went quite far. I'm not so sure that they're going to find that ball. and instead they might have to get a new ball. Are the umpires? Yes, I think the fourth umpire just handed over a new ball, and so 22 without loss into the second over. Sri Lanka did the same thing in that previous game as well. Had a good start. My memory serves me right. I think they got about 10 runs and over in the first 7.
Yeah, first 7. I think it was the eighth over when it started to go sideways, or 76 for 1. Nasanka started well. He's 21 in the first ODI, 26 in the second ODI, 50 in the third ODI, 23. They've all been better than a run of ball, apart from the second ODI.
Archer comes in, bowls, swinging down the leg side, and that's not helping England's course. Butler just couldn't get his gloves behind it. It kept swinging. It's called a wide, and it's also 4, so 5 runs. That was pace on, that was 90. Definitely Arthur stung by that 6, going for that extra few yards, but that time getting it a little bit wrong.
Yeah, got it wrong. It's gone for, it's swung, it's gone down leg side, swung, and hit the pitch. And it's deviated and gone even further, and Jos Buttler couldn't quite get it. 401st appearance for Jos Buttler, breaking the record. 402nd appearance, breaking the record. Most appearances by any English player in all formats.
Archer bowls outside the off stump, down to short, deep third. Only a single. So Mishara hasn't really faced a ball, and he's about to face one, because Pathum Nisanka has been busy. That time short and wide. He was onto it quickly, hit it down to deep third for a single.
He's expecting the sort of back of a length ball. Jofra's bowled a couple of Yorkers now and hasn't quite got his line right. His length. The ball after the full Yorker wasn't there, so it's interesting. He's going no fine leg. 3 men on the leg side, but no fine leg. A man at deep square leg.
Slip in, Archer bowls, and not timed by Mishara, looking to drive it away on the onside. Finds, I think, at mid-on. I'm just trying to identify that fielder, recognize Dawson's at mid-on, and for a moment I paused. I wasn't sure as to who the fielder was, but it's Dawson.
Dawson at mid-on, Brook at mid-off.
Yes, number 83, Dawson. So here comes Archer with the third on the boundary. Rolls on the leg stump, and that is chipped away on the onside, and would you believe it? It's the second 6 in the over, and Archer being treated rather poorly by the Sri Lankan batters. The Archer's gone for 20 with still 1 ball left.
Yeah, I think the ball's coming on nicely. I think this is a better pitch than the other night. I think it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit truer. And yes, that's in the slot. So two balls now. Jofra Archer's put in the slot, and both have gone out the ground, square of the wicket.
Good start for Sri Lanka, but the important thing is to maintain the momentum. As here comes Archer again. Bowls to Mishara, who is driving. Dawson intercepts it at mid-on, but cannot stop the single. I saw him throw with his right hand, Dawson. That's very good. 2 overs done. 35 without loss. Quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Yeah, left arm bowl, right hand bat, right hand throw in.
50% of profits donated. Now that's feel good toilet paper. Who gives a crap?
Didn't we rush on? We had a nice dinner. Me and Scott had a game of golf. Rex from upstairs in the press room. He does touring groups, Chelsea tours. He's looked after us with getting us from here to be. So it's been. I mean, I've enjoyed my last 24 hours in Sri Lanka. I really have.
What are you trying to do? You're trying to make John jealous or what?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Judes will never get jealous because it's like he's got to climb 17 floors. So
right.
Dick can tell you that story.
No, but I don't think he's got to climb so much here. We've got lifts.
No, eighth floor, I think, in there. John's been standing outside watching his son play football in the freezing this morning.
Change of bowling. It is Jacks coming in and pushed away on the onside. So you're telling me no lifts in England?
You'll have to listen. You'll have to listen to Alex Tudor tell you that story. Big fella's claustrophobic. He's not one for lifts. So TalkSport, the actual studios itself, is on the 17th floor. So he has to go up all the way to the 17th floor for a little hit into TalkSport, back down to the 8th floor for commentary. So he's getting his steps in as the big fella.
He's a brave man.
Very brave man.
Here is Jacks coming in from round the wicket. Bowls. Nissanka looks to swing it away on the onside. And what Jacks is doing here is that he's firing the ball in. He's not going to sort of loop it, but instead bowling in the power plays. He just tends to, I think he's using the seam a little bit more than actually looking to spin. Now he decides to come over the wicket. He's got that tacked offside field. 2 men on the leg side boundary. Jacks bowls slower, and that's cleverly bowled. This is a good comeback by England.
Good from Jacks, yeah. He's trying to bowl this little arm balls, trying to bowl that little bit quicker. I mean, Will Jacks' best ball is a very, very good ball. He's not quite consistent enough.
Short delivery, swung away on the leg side, should be cut off. Well done in the deep. That's Phil Salt, a couple of runs. That was a drag down by Jacks, who now decides to come back round the wicket, is it? Yes. I think he's quite comfortable bowling round the wicket, isn't it? He's not an over the wicket bowler.
No, he's more comfortable bowling around the wicket because I think it finishes his action off. I think he stops a little bit in his point of release and bowling action. I think that's where he gets his inconsistency from.
Bowls again. That's cleverly bowled. This is a very, very good over. I'll give it to Jacks. He's bowled at in excess of 90 Ks. Now, umpire Chamaradi Soisa is just not taking any chances. Though I felt that Pathum Nissanka was well in. Butler went up as he whipped the bails off. So the umpire has gone up to the third. So let's see, third umpire that is. So let's see, decision pending. I think he should be all right.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Just wonder if the umpires think, I don't know. Did he have his bat in the crease before it bounced? He's had his bat in the crease before it bounced, yeah.
So he has marked himself in the crease, so he was all right. Here comes Jacks again, bowls, and pushed on the onside by Nissanka for a single. It's a very good over. Damage control done, just 4 runs. But still, 39 without loss in 3. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Very good comeback from England and from Jacks. Fielders, angles in player. You see Liam Dawson come on from here, but yeah, I mean, we've seen a good start from Sri Lanka the other day. Roshan and the Ratnayaka bringing in the selection, bringing in more of a conventional batter rather than a power T20 player. Is that just to sort of move the game a little bit further to make sure that the last 6 overs Sri Lanka have got their power players in. So I think what I felt the other day, they've got the 76 for 1, lost the wicket, then all of a sudden they lost away a little bit by going too aggressive too early, and within no time they were 6 or 7 down. He's a good player.
He is, and I think Dhananjay had a role to play. I mean, he was going to be the anchor, so to speak. When I say anchor, it's not anchor, but in T20 you've got a role to play, and it's almost a like-for-like replacement. Pavan Ratnayaka, but I would think that he's a little bit more enterprising than Dhananjay. As Dawson comes in, bowls nicely flighted on midland leg, and Pathum Nissanka really cannot do much with it, just pushes it back up the pitch. Interesting field. He's got the 2 men allowed on the leg side boundary, 2 behind square leg on the leg side, and the rest almost a ring on the offside. As here comes Dawson, bowls short and push through quicker. I think he's getting deceived off the track because Dawson pushes it through a little bit quicker than what Nissanka expected.
Yeah, a little bit quicker and a little bit flatter because of the trajectory. Will Jacks is a little bit taller, really, a lot taller release point, so he's driving it down from a good height into the surface, where Dawson's bowling a little bit flatter, but he's got his line perfect there for the field he has.
Dawson comes in, tossing it up, and Nissanka, much quieter, calmer. Started very, very quickly and went after the bowling. Just a single this time. That's all right. Sri Lanka needs to play that game. It's not about just going after the bowling from ball 1. They need to keep changing the tempo. That's what they're doing now. 4th ball of the over. The left-hander on strike. So the field changes over. Deep mid-wicket and a long on. So it's a packed offside field, short fine leg, and slightly behind square leg as here comes Dawson, bowls, and this is driving on the offside, straight to the man at cover, and it's time now to join Jonathan Norman with Sri Lanka on 40 without loss.
Thank you very much, Roshan Abeysinghe. 40 without loss then, as you say, and Mishara, who hit Jofra Archer for a towering 6-second ball, has added just 2 to that score. He's 8 from 5, facing up Liam Dawson, who's gone for just the single. He's been so difficult to get away, but just as I say that, Alex Chudley fires up a delightful off-stump full toss, which is carved away for 4.
Yeah, it's been a great start with these two. Really elegant as well. Love the way they've gone about it. Said now in this modern game, Dawson be a bit disappointed with that. Sort of fired it in, low full toss, just opening the blade. Knows where the fielders are. Just piercing sort of backward point and cover point. Really good shot.
Last ball of the over then, steps away, touch shorter but straighter, and Mishara can only take a single up to long on. Overton Fields, end of over number 4. 45 without loss, Sri Lanka. So for the second match in a row, they've got off to a good start. They collapsed in an almighty heap in the first T20 though. 76 for 1, became 133 all out, bowled out in 16.2 overs. So they will hope to go better than that. And the problem they faced in that first T20, apart from the hat-trick back end of the innings, was the spin. Just could not get the likes of Dawson, who picked up 2 for 31, and Rashid 3 for 19. You know, 8 overs, 5 for 50. Steps away, it does Mishara, and this is well fielded at backward point by Sam Curran. Will Jacks bowling within the power play. This his second over. His first over went for just 4. And once again Mishara stepping away from the crease, but this time Jacks follows the batter and he can only push it to the leg side for a single. I mean, it makes sense now, but were you surprised when you saw Jacks throwing the ball for the third over, Toots?
Well, for the third over, yes, but I think watching the first game, and as you said, you know, seemed to leak a few runs. It was spin that held it, and obviously Bethel and himself didn't bowl in the first innings.
Very wide of the crease, and Nasanka has swept this beautifully, taking the ball that is pitching outside off stump and not quite flat batting it on the sweep. Got it up and over the infield. It didn't go sail towards the back end of the banks. It went relatively flat. The moment he hit the ball though, it was only going in one way, and that was to the boundary for 6.
Yeah, I like Nasanka. Quality little player, short in stature, but packs a wallop. That's a great shot. Sort of fired in a little bit from Jacks coming out the front of the hand, like a seam up delivery. Just went down on the sweep, picked it up, got the elevation. 6 runs. Harry Brook in the distance.
Flatter down the leg side, called wide. Bowled again. 53 without loss if you're joining us on TalkSport 2, the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. England 1-0 up with 2 to play, including this one. Well, starting today. And Nasanka this time shapes to move, then holds his body shape. And Jacks just fires this in just inside the tram line, and Nasanka kind of caught in 2 minds there. Can't get the ball away. Got fielders inside the ring on the offside. As Jacks, this is a drag down, and Nasanka picks up on that quickly, but it's also pushed through quick and can't get it square enough, so it's fielded by Sam Curran, and Nasanka's a touch frustrated with that shot, and the fact that he only got a single from it. 1 ball left of the 5th over here on TalkSport 2. Bowled by Jacks. He's alternating between bowling round and over the wicket, depending on whether he's bowling to right-hander, left-hander. But this is good stuff. Inside the power play, he's gone for 13 runs. 1 ball left of his second over. He's going round the wicket, fires it down on the pads, and Mishara can't beat Adil Rashid, who's up inside the circle. And that's the end of the over. 54 without loss then, 5 overs in. Sri Lanka 39, or rather 35 without loss after 2, so England just pulling it back a touch, but this last over the power play, Sri Lanka will seek to capitalise.
Yeah, 100%. And just sort of going back to your first question, if I was surprised to see Will Jacks bowl that third over, yes, but I'm not surprised that Harry Brook is looking for more spin options. They were unbowled in the first game. I'm talking about Will Jacks and Jacob Bethel. Seam was a little more expensive, so maybe he's thinking, get through a few more spinners as Archer comes back into the attack.
First over went for 21, first ball of his second, and Nissanka just deftly guides this down to third where it's fielded. Mishara didn't face a ball of pace, I don't think. Oh no, he did. He hit a 6 off Archer, didn't he? But I think Nissanka had certainly the first 10 deliveries or so. Great support for both sides. Such a wonderful atmosphere watching cricket in Sri Lanka. A lovely ground as well. One of my favourites, Tudes. Not sure it's one of Bat's favourites, with the snake that we saw on the way to the ground back in 2018. And there's one thing Gareth Batty struggles with, it's snakes. Who can blame him? Okay, here we go. Jofra Archer going to bowl round the wickets to the left-handed Mishara. There's one fielder out at fine leg. And that's a good delivery from Archer. Good pace, straight. Squares Mishara up just a touch, who shapes to step away and pull, and then in the end it's on him so quickly. Defends it out to the covers for a run.
Yeah, really well bowled. Mishara just sort of going towards leg side to sort of free up the offside. Archer following him. The most important thing was the length that he bowled. It's sort of that waist height, hitting the splice of the bat. Can only get it out for a single.
Archer over the wicket now. Oh, he's bowled in, chopped on Nissanka, no foot movement. And after an expensive first over, Archer has a little bit of payback. Nissanka goes for 34. Sri Lanka lose their first in the 6th over. They're 56 for 1.
Yeah, be disappointed with that. Nissanka just sort of planted his foot. The ball slightly away from him, played away from his body. And when you do that, you are susceptible of the inside edge. And there was a thick inside edge, sort of bottom of the bat. He's played on. And Archer's come on and done what his captain needed. And that was to get a breakthrough, get a wicket. And the dangerous Nissanka has to depart for a brilliantly made 34 from 22 balls. Sri Lanka are 56 for 1.
Yeah, good comeback from Archer. First over was expensive, but this one has picked up the wicket. So that will bring Mendes to the crease. Ratnayaka carded at 4. 2 changes for Sri Lanka today, with Ratnayaka, who hit that wonderful century in the 3rd ODI and really batted beautifully well, very technically correct, very watchful, used his feet. That was my takeaway from that innings. You weren't with us on that occasion, Choose, but especially against the spin, I'm interested to see. He will set off, and not recklessly. He used his feet really, really well against the spinners, so we'll see how he goes with that. But he is carded at 4. It's Kusal Mendes, who hit 93 not out in the 1st ODI, playing in his 99th international T20. And he is about to face his first delivery. Jofra Archer. Did you see where the other 2 fielders out? Well, one's going at deep backward point. Did you see where the other one was? Tubes, I didn't see where the other one was.
No, I can only think he's maybe got one at deep square, possibly, if fine legs in the circle. He's maybe gone for that just in case he just drops it slightly short. Kusal Mendes is a good puller of the ball.
First ball then, it's a full delivery on off stump, and Kusal Mendes forward, and just pushing this up to mid-on. Just a touch late on the ball there. Interested to see the ball speed. It hasn't come up on the screen. So England continuing to drag this one back. 35 without loss at the end of Jofra Archer's first over, the 2nd of the innings. Now as we approach the end of the power play, 2 balls to go, 56 for 1. And Archer in again. Again he goes full on the pads. This is pushed to the wide right of mid-on, who dives and fields, and Mendes gets off the mark with a quickly taken single. 57 for 1 then. 1 ball left of the power play. You'd have to say, Shoots, it's quite an even start now after the expensive couple of overs that started the innings.
Yeah, 100%, and the dangerous Masaka going back as well. He was looking in good form. Looked very elegant as he was going about his work.
Mashara, left-hander, and it's short ball, and that will have to be bowled again. Slanting down towards the leg side, goes over the shoulder of Mashara, his right shoulder. Butler takes, and so Archer will have to bowl that 6th ball of his second over again.
Good pace though, 90 miles an hour. Anytime fast bowler comes back, just to see how they're ticking, how they're running in, their rhythm. Obviously his rhythm's got to be there, bowling at 90 plus. So that's good to see.
Do you prefer bowling to shorter batters or taller batters? I mean, you were playing in a time of, Ryan Lara, Sachin Tendulkar. His final ball of the over won't yield another run. It's just wrapping Mashara on the pad. He can't push this towards the legs side field. So Mashara ends the over, 15 from 12. Kusal Mendes, the new batter, is 1 not out. End of the power play here on TalkSport 2. Sri Lanka, who lost the toss for the 2nd match in a row, and once again asked to bat first, although thankfully no sign of rain. They're 58 for 1.
Short batsmen, Johnny, were an absolute nightmare for me, because my back of a length they would pull. So your Ricky Pontins, your Greg Blewitts, those types, Sachin, nightmare. And I always talk about people that I didn't really like bowling to. Paul Johnson, really good player, played for England A, Nottinghamshire.
Going to have a bit of leg spin. Adil Rashid. Oh, there's a little bit of a mix-up with the non-striker, Mashara, down the track. Rashid tries to fill from his own bowling. The two come together. There's a yes and a no, and at the end of the day, it's a dot ball.
Paul Johnson was an absolute nightmare for me. The only saving light was when speaking with Devon Malcolm. He also said Chaudy was a nightmare.
Rashid again, very full on the pads, and Mendes takes a single through mid-wicket.
And I was always that one as well, where I was like, how did he never play for England? But obviously England at that time had some serious players when you had Lamb, Robin Smith, and the likes in that middle order. I suppose he was never gonna get a gig, but he was a fine player at the county scene. As I said, got to England A, but never really had higher honours than that. But he was a serious player.
Rashid again, and this is uppishly driven, wristily so, and fielded at backward point by Sam Curran. Sri Lanka just starting to get a touch stuck, and it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Can they hold their nerve and just see through these next couple of overs, and then try and capitalise as Rashid's in again, stepping away. Mashara, it's googly, and has to reach a touch for the ball, and he'll take another single. 60 for 1. It's a good start for Sri Lanka. No need for them to get a little stressed. Floodlights on in Kandy. Night T20 buzzing. You can hear the traffic in the distance. It's the right-handed Kusal Mendes, comes forward, sweeps really well. What a shot that is. He has to reach for the ball just a touch, but such strong wrists, and it's the timing as well as the placement. Managed to bisect the field at long on and mid-wicket, just in forward square leg really, and away to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, it was well played, beautifully bowled by Adil Rashid. He's picked his wrong and he's hit it, as you said, Johnny.
He's gone again, and he's targeting the same part of the field. Same result. Such smart foot movement by Kusal Mendes. Jumps behind the crease, sets himself into position, and then pulls in front of square and splits those same two fielders.
Yeah, dancing feet from Kusal Mendes, using the depth of his crease, and played it. The ball sort of bounced up at him, sort of waist height, but he hit it with a straightish bat to, he said, sort of in between deep mid wicket and long on. pierced it same place as it went the ball before. Fantastic batting from Crucial Mendes and Adil Rashid under pressure.
Yeah, great stuff from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka 68 for 1 now at the end of the 7th over. We're through the power play. Joffa Archibald a couple, Will Jacks a couple, one for Curran and one for Dawson. Yeah, Adil Rashid has just bowled the over number 7, which traditionally was always the over which he deals, and probably still is, the fewest runs in a T20. And that one went for 9, I think. Liam Dawson about to bowl his second over. He's in, slow left arm, stepping away is Mashara. Good connection, fielded at deep point by Jacob Bethel. Dawson just feels right in this side. You know, there's been times when he's played when he's only been in the side because of an injury or, you know, squad rotation, and you feel, okay, well, you've got a game, maybe you've got this series. But now it just seems like it's a good fit for him and a good fit for England, and it's great to see. He's got so much skill down the track, and this is punch to the left of Dawson, who almost expected him to come up with a bit of turf in his mouth because it looked like he face planted a touch trying to field from his own bowling. It's just a single. 70 for 1. Sri Lanka asked to bat first here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, he's a good cricketer, Johnny. You know, one I've always liked. Saw him when he was a youngster, burst onto the scene at Hampshire. Obviously batted more than he bowled, but I think what it shows you is you never give up.
Oh, I tell you what, I'll have to go and fetch that. Down on one knee, and it's been helped by Mashara. Front of square on the leg side, all the way to the boundary. Through the line as much as anything there, wouldn't you say, Tudes? And the batter got in position so quickly and just really helped it up over the boundary for 6.
Line and a little bit of air, which he doesn't do, Dawson, in this format of the game. He's just giving this a little bit more flight, which allowed Mishra to get up and on over it.
This is flatter on the pads, and it's a smart single taken. Wasn't fielded cleanly by Rashid. So another run added, and this is good stuff from Sri Lanka. Yeah, carry on with the description.
Yeah, no, just saying that he one thing that Dawson does not do, he doesn't normally give flight. He gave him flight, but allowed Mishra to get up and underneath it. That one, the next one, no flight whatsoever. Fired it in like a little left arm medium pacer.
Yeah, might go back to the tried and tested this time. Again, deep in his crease, Mendes. And fielder having to come in from mid-wicket. Well, he starts to slow up, does Mendes? It's almost like his hamstring's gone. He's just the finishing line's in touch, and then oh no! But no, he completes the run, and that's 2 more runs to the score. Mendes moves to 13, Mashara's 24. And 79 for 1 Sri Lanka. 1 ball left of Liam Dawson's second over. And he's in now, down on the sweep, and he's got the line wrong there. That's going to reach the boundary at fine leg. I should stop complimenting the England bowlers, because as soon as I did, Dawson has got it wrong twice and he's been punished twice. 4 more runs to Sri Lanka. End of over number 8. They find themselves handily placed, 83 for 1.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed. That over went for 15. You really don't want to end an over with a boundary. But that's what Sri Lanka are looking for. And Crucial Mendes just got the line wrong there, Dawson. He just helped it along. As you said, you've got short, fine leg, but slightly wider. You've got a sort of a really thin inside edge that just went past Joss Buttler. He wasn't able to do anything. And the fielder at short fine just had to run and collect the ball. Good start for Sri Lanka, 83 for 1. Harry Brook having to change the bowlers around. He's not seen Jamie Overton bowlers yet. Just trying to get his bowling partnerships right. Is the skipper. They're just leaking a few runs.
Here is Overton, and no timing. First up from Mashara, who will just take a single. There's overthrows, wild throw from the deep. Buttler can't claim it. I think it bounced in front of him and then just alarmingly bounced up. Phil Salt's just apologising for that. So 2 runs from Jamie Overton's first delivery. And Sri Lanka just putting a bit of pressure on England here. Just to see a replay of that. Oof. Did that bounce first, or was he just sailing? Here we see it from side on. Oh, he just went straight over his head.
He should know better as a keeper as well. Phil Salt.
Thick outside edge, reaches the boundary. Third up inside the circle. And Mishara just threw everything at this delivery. And as soon as it beat that fielder, it was only going in one direction. 4 more to Sri Lanka, 89 for 1 now.
And this is the issue, Johnny, isn't it? We said that seam is easier to score from. Harry Brook, the skipper, bringing in changes, but I think Sri Lanka are definitely targeting England's seam bowlers. They know it's going to be slightly difficult against the spin.
Well, I wonder where Overton's going to go here, because he's bowled 2 deliveries that have gone across the left-hander, and he's bowled them of length. Cutter and possibly a faster one. And they got away with the first one a touch, but that overthrow kept Mishara on strike. Goes full this time, and this is pushed out to extra cover where it's fielded. And Sri Lanka find themselves 89 for 1 as we cross over to Steve Harmison and Roshan Abhisingh.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, it's a good start for Sri Lanka. And from a Sri Lankan point of view, they'll be hoping that they'll be learning from their mistakes. They went horribly wrong in that first game. As here comes Overton. And Mishara just cleans it away on the offside to deep cover for a single. Well, they've been good, Sri Lanka. That time pace off. They're up to 90 in the 9th over.
Yeah, they've been really good, and it's now important that they go to the next phase to make sure they give themselves a chance to make a real grandstand finish with 4 or 5 overs to go. So make sure that they're picking their singles up, make sure there's not many dot balls. 2s when you get it into the angle and the deep. If the ball's there to hit the boundary, yes, have a go at it. Don't get too obsessed by hitting boundaries, and give yourselves a chance with 6 or 7 wickets in hand to get a big score.
Overton goes to Kusal Mendes, quicker. He just drops it almost in front of him and gets a quick single. I think there's a better complexion in the Sri Lankan batting, or a better rhythm to it. As you correctly said, in that last game, they were just after the boundaries. But now they're mixing it up quite well, blending it with those singles and 2s, and running hard, putting pressure on the fielders.
Putting pressure on the fielders, but also putting pressure on the bowler by taking the risk early in the over and getting a boundary.
Overton goes, and Mishara driving and finds the man at extra cover at the edge of the 30-yard circle, but it is a very good over for Sri Lanka. They're 92 for 1 at the end of 9. And quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on the TalkSport YouTube cricket channel.
And another well-tempoed over. Second ball of the over went for 4. 3 singles and a 2 inside the over. So minimising the risks, getting the boundary, keeping the scoring rate high. Another over ticks by with wickets in hand, putting pressure on Adil Rashid's 3 overs left. If you can take Adil Rashid now for possibly 35, between sort of 30 and 35, and then you put pressure on England's seamers towards the back end, we should be looking at a total of in excess of 180, 190 here.
Rashid comes in, goes, and that's driven nicely by Mishara, who gave himself a little bit of room. Now, watching Rashid, now in the previous game, he was quite happy to bowl it slower. Now he's going a little bit quicker. That one mid-80s as Rashid comes in. Bowls. That's tossed up. Beautifully bowled, I thought. Mishara was checking his shot as he got it down to long on for a single.
I actually think he's bowled a little bit quicker because the surface is... I think the surface is a little bit better. It's not gripping as much. I think the tackiness of the surface the other night made the ball just grip that little bit more. So Adil Rashid bowled a little bit slower.
Rashid now to the right-hander. Tosses up, and Mendes looks for that sweep and drags it from wide of the off stump. So he gets it down to long on. That's clever by Rashid because he went slower and wider.
I think he's knowing that Kusal Mendes wants to sweep. He's comfortable on the sweep. I don't think Kusal Mendes is picking Adil Rashid out of the hand. So I think he's going the sweep and the cross back shots.
Now they're asking, but I'm not so sure that was worth the ask. They're having a chat. To me, it looked like pitching maybe outside the leg stump.
Yeah, to me, I think pitching outside the leg stump, and actually didn't sound paddy, it sounded woody. Yeah, Brooks gone for it.
Yep, they've gone upstairs. That's interesting.
Now we're waiting to sort of find out from the TV umpire that if that's pitched inside the tram lines or not. My first initial thoughts is no. No, I don't think this is pitched in line. It's hit the back pad. It's hit the flap of the back pad right at the top. Weight transfers coming forwad, back legs bent, but with the back leg bent, ball spun past the bat, hit the top of the pad, but unfortunately for Adil Rashid in England and Harry Brook, they're going to lose a review. We haven't seen it yet, but I think it's pitched well outside leg stump.
Yeah, that's what I thought. My first impression was that, because you could have seen a little bit of that off stump, but now the frame we have in front of us shows us middle and off, and now this will tell us, yes, clearly outside the leg stump. So what we thought has come right. Rashid has got that review wrong. Because he pushed Harry Brook, he was convinced. He made Harry Brook go upstairs. And they get a single off that ball. So Mendes is on strike. Rashid comes in. 95 for 1. Goes down the leg side. Looks to sweep. It's called a wide. It is not collected cleanly by Butler. It sort of ricochets off his pads and they sneak that single, so they get a couple of runs. So these are useful runs.
Perfection.
The loop, I love that dip. You could see that in that shot. He was aiming more straighter. Clearly not there.
Not there, and I don't think Nashar has seen it out the hand. I really don't. I don't think either of these two batters are reading Adil Rashid out the hand, so he's bowling that slower.
Rashid bowls and Mendes on the back foot, chips it in there and bounces away for 4. Well, there was an element of risk with, I don't think Mendes went on with the shot. It was a little chip. The 100's up with that boundary. It turned out to be a good over. At the halfway stage, Sri Lanka 102 for 1. Just to remind you, you're on TalkSport 2 and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel as drinks come out to the field.
Yeah, 9 off the over. It's a very, very good over for Sri Lanka, and that largely down to the fact that they got singles in that over. They got a leg bye, they got a bye, which obviously then they got the wide, which obviously Josh Butler spilled. But the left and right hand combination and rotation of strike just has to be off slightly from a bowler's point of view, and you can capitalise. And Kusal Mendes there, we were talking on TV just a second ago, Roshan, about you don't to use your feet. A lot of people think, well, he's good at using his feet, so it's coming out of your crease. It's not. You use the depth of your crease, and there he's made Rashid's ball delivery look a lot shorter because he's gone straight. He's gone, he's obviously a right-handed batter. He's gone with his right foot back onto the off stump to give him a stable base. So when he makes contact with the ball, playing a horizontal bat pull shot through mid-wicket, both feet are behind the crease, which makes the delivery look a little bit shorter than it actually is. So it's very, very good batting and very, very good use, the depth of the crease in quick hands from Kusal Mendes.
You talk about that, and that's an interesting point you make, because if you watch the way Joe Root played, I mean, he did the same thing. He just made sure that he got that length shortened. I mean, normal players would be pushing forward, but he would get on the back foot. And what really makes that so impressive is because Root comes from England. Right? I mean, surfaces are so different, and with all due respect, you'd expect the subcontinental players to play, maybe understand spin better. And you have someone like Joe Root showing that technique The way he plays off the back foot, tremendous, commendable.
Yeah, you listened to Joe Root speak, and he did an interview with Scott after, and it was fascinating because he gave a lot of credit to the late Graham Thorpe, who was obviously England's batting coach for a long period of time, and he talked about how playing spin and learning how to play spin, it evolved working with Graham Thorpe. I played with Thorpe, great player, fantastic player, one of the best players of spin you'll see. And whenever Thorpe would do a practice session, he'd be scuffing up areas and making it difficult for the batters, and using and having a simple game plan, a simple technique on a turning pitch, on a pitch which is not turning, and being able to shorten length or make balls look shorter than they actually are. And Joe Root give a lot of credit to Graham Thorpe off the back of his sort of teaching him how to play spin in this part of the world when Graham Thorpe was coaching. I thought it was a really nice touch.
Yeah, indeed, and what a player Thorpe was. Seen him bat, seen him score runs here. Here is Jacks coming in, rolls to Mishara, who gives himself room and chops it away on the offside for a single. Well, Sri Lanka will have to plan their innings in little phases. Now they've got the first 10 overs right. They've gone at 10 runs on over Harmy. They lost just 1 wicket. So now I think the next 10 overs will be in 2 phases. The next 5 and how they finish the last 5.
Yeah, if they can get to possibly 8 and over for the next 4, next 5, and still have wickets in hand, then you could be looking at upwards of 10, 12 and more per over for the grandstand finish.
Jack scrolls, he looks to sweep and he does it, but finds the man at short fine leg. So as a team, both England and Sri Lanka, we spoke about the World Cup and all that, so they'll be having those little boxes, those areas that they want to take, and think that it's not about mastering it, but just understanding it. Because, mastering is a big word, as here comes Jacks again, rolls, and working it away on the onside. Few things that I've seen from Sri Lanka is positive intent. I like the rhythm about their batting, like the running between the wickets, pressure on the bowlers, as you said, pressure on the fielders.
Yeah, the tempo's been very, very good. I've said a couple of times the surface has been better, and I think that possibly a memo towards the World Cup that Sri Lanka play all their games in Sri Lanka, and they possibly need surfaces which come onto the bat a little bit more, as much as you possibly can in this part of the world, because if they're not comfortable playing spin, then they need a little bit of assistance with ball coming onto the bat so they can access hitting that through the line of the ball. And then what we've seen before, when the seam bowlers were on, they're being able to hit the big shots.
Swung away on the onside. Kushal Mendes annoyed with himself, just picking up on the stump mic, because he knew it was a short ball that he was looking to hit in the gap between mid-wicket and square leg, but just mistimed it, found the man at deep mid-wicket. So 4 singles of the first 4 balls. Sri Lanka will not want to let Jacks bowls economical overs. Here he comes in, bowls. And that's cleverly bowled. That's the one that goes in with the arm. Yep, it was going down the leg side.
And this is where they came unstuck on Friday night. They got stuck not sort of being able to rotate the strike off the spinners. Spin bowlers are bowling, getting singles, stopping the boundaries, and all of a sudden Sri Lanka couldn't stem the tide once they started losing wickets.
A little chip in the air, should be taken in the deep. It is well taken, very well taken. It's Overton, and Jacks has done his job. He's got a wicket at a vital time, because this partnership was also looking good, and Sri Lanka needed them to go on a little bit longer. But this is Jacks. He's the man with the golden arm.
Yes, he bowled well in the 50 overs competition when 50 over format when he played, and there he's not given Mishara any chance to get underneath the ball to get it over the rope. And Jamie Overton takes the catch, and his body, his expression on his face and his body language says everything. He's right on the line. He's come charging in, and then realised, this is actually coming harder and higher than I first thought. And he's had to backpedal a couple of steps and take a good two-handed catch above his head. Few of the players on that field, and that would have been 6, because it would have gone straight over his head. So a brilliant bit of judgment from Jamie Overton. Excellent pressure from the England fielders. And I think Will Jacks, 1 for 17 off 3 so far, has deserved that wicket, and it's a big partnership breaker because Sri Lanka were bubbling along nicely.
Right, Pavan Ratnayaka, he comes out. He comes in at a good stage for him with Sri Lanka on 106 for 2 in 11 overs. He's got Kusal Mendis at the other end. So his T20I career, just 4 games. Hasn't really done much in terms of runs, Ratnayaka, but here is the opportunity. He's at the non-strikers end. As here comes Overton. Goes to Mendis and goes wide and full. It's called a wide. He doesn't believe it. Umpire Chamara Soisa is very firm with that call, but Overton just didn't believe it.
Jamie Overton not too happy. Took the catch, so the elation of taking the catch. But he wasn't too happy there. I mean, if I was Jamie Overton, I'd be saying to the umpire, "Is this the standard you're setting?" I think that's a wide. I do. As a bowler who thinks the game of 2020 should be given a little bit more towards the bowler, that was a wide.
Overton comes in. Oh, what a shot! Kusal Mendis has dismissed it. Massive 6 as he picks the length. That was quicker. 140 plus. Doesn't matter. Mendis enjoyed it.
Brilliant shot from Kusal Mendis. It was an effort ball. It was the short ball from Jamie Overton. He got it high, but unfortunately the angle he's on, going towards Kusal Mendis' left ear, meant that Kusal Mendis could pick it up. He's not looking to try and hit this down at all. The ball's going towards his sort of left shoulder, and he hasn't getting his hands caught inside. Brilliant shot.
Overton comes in, bowls a full delivery, which is driven hard by Mendis. In fact, hit with a lot of power, only a single, because Mendis had settled for the single, didn't really expect the fumble at deep cover. So they didn't want the second, but that was also hit with a lot of power by Kusal Mendis. Now Pavan Ratnayaka on strike. Now what is the role he will play here? Obviously he's got to make sure that the momentum is maintained and doesn't get bogged down. Needs to rotate the strike. Here comes Overton, bowls to him, and oh no, that should be oh, he's 6. I thought he skied it. I thought he miscued it. Nothing like that. He's got a 6 of the very first ball. Overton will be very unhappy with it because I don't think it went off the middle of the bat. It was more the edge.
I mean, Ratnayaka's got no idea where this has gone. He really hasn't. Ball bouncer, similar height to the Kusal Mendis one. I mean, similar angle as well. Ratnayaka is actually, it was a little bit straighter. The Mendis one was a little bit more on the hip and on the shoulder. This one was a little bit more outside off stump, but because he's got a thick top edge, he's managed, because he's Pearce on the ball and because he's hitting it up, he's managed to sail for 6.
Here comes Overton bowls, and Ratnayaka swings it on the leg side, and that's 1 bounce for 4, and it is 124 for 2 into the 12th over, and I think it's a good time to let Jonathan come in.
Thank you very much, Roshan. Yeah, Roshan Abisinga and Steve Harmison calling the boundaries. It's raining boundaries, just raining the first T20, raining boundaries today as Sri Lanka now find themselves in a terrific position again. 124 for 2, and pace proving to be expensive again. Overton has seen the boundary peppered. 3 boundaries in this over, 2 sixes and a 4, and he's in again. Last ball of the over, and this is driven on the up, square of the wicket, and backward point is left, almost like they're playing that old game we used to play in the playground. Remember, Stuck in the Mud? You used to have to like climb and used to crawl underneath the bloke, yeah, to unleash them. That's right. So yeah, oh no, 1 ball left. They've just been done. It was a wide first ball, so an expensive over. And Ratnayaka, 12 from 3. We were talking about him earlier today. He batted so well in the ODI. The third ODI scored 100, and Kusal Mendis is 32. Ratnayaka has hit 1, 4 and a 6 in the 3-ball stay. I can completely understand why Roshan thought that was being skied to the boundary. Oh, put down by Tom Banton. Ratnaike trying to lift the ball up over short third. It's got two hands to it. The ball's gone down, and for any lip readers out there watching the highlights later today, possibly, apologies on behalf of Jamie Overton. He wasn't happy, was he, Harmy? Or Jude?
Yeah, he's not happy at all. I think that first ball where it was touch and go, was it a wide? And he's just not pulled it. He wears his heart on his sleeve to Jamie Overton. He was not happy, and I think it's affected the rest of his over, because next ball he went for a 6. And as you said, seems to be leaking runs in Sri Lanka at the moment, and it's something that Harry Brook's going to have to try and sort out. Who's he going to turn to? As the spin gives him a little bit more control. Obviously you've got a few part-time spinners, I don't like to say part-time, but they are in Jacks, and if Bethel, if we see him at all, we may have to. We just have to wait and see. It's Liam Dawson who's coming back on the bolt.
Yeah, Dawson's 2 overs have gone for 21. 2 boundaries in his second over, 1 in his first. 127 for 2, so Sri Lanka still going at 10 and over. And there's a few problems for Harry Brook and England. So Banton, good diving effort to his left, but he got 2 hands to it. Didn't go at any great pace. He'll be disappointed as Ratnaike will take a single to mid-wicket. This is good stuff, Harmy. Harmy might be with us at the end of the over. We shall see. 128 for 2. And Dawson continuing. It's been really accurate and picked up the wickets. Good economy throughout the ODIs and the T20. Dawson is in again. Top edge. This should go. Rashid takes the catch. Kusal Mendes caught on the sweep. And his stay has got to come to an end. He goes for a 17 ball 32. Sri Lanka 128 for 3.
Yeah, and Harry Brook turned into one of his wily old spinners, Liam Dawson. As you say, Kusal Mendes going for that sweep. He's got the bottom edge of his bat, it's gone straight up to short fine leg, where Adil Rashid patrols. Safe pair of hands, not going to drop that. There's a bright and breezy innings from Kusal Mendes. He departs for 32 from 17 balls face, and Sri Lanka 128 for 3. Live here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, not Sky like the other day. Right, where are we then? Who's the new batter coming in? Is it Shanaka? Asalanka. Doesn't look like Asalanka. Either way, England have struck. They needed that as well. The game was just starting to get away from them. Just a touch. They'll probably back themselves to chase down any score. They'll back themselves whatever happens. But score of 180, 190 won't worry them too much. And I suppose if you're going to be tested, you want to be tested in a match like today or the third game, because every time you go out there and play any game, right? Doesn't matter if you're representing your country or you're playing 5-a-side on a Thursday night, you want to win. Don't take it easy. It isn't Asalanka, it's Shanaka. Dasun Shanaka, the T20 skipper, about to face his first delivery. Right-handed bat. Dawson is bowling round the wicket. It's just kept a touch low, and it's defended out to the offside. But yeah, this is when you want to be trying things and finding out what works and what doesn't, isn't it? You don't want to be doing that during the T20 World Cup.
No, 100%, John. Yeah, you need to find out now. The bowlers who's going to be.
Steps away and clubs this up and over mid-on, but there's a fielder running in from long on, so it's just a single. 129 for 3.
You're going to find out that spin's going to be playing a massive part in Sri Lanka. Just trying out. How's it going to work? Looks like seam. It's going to be difficult to try and contain. It's going to come on quite nicely.
Dawson again, touch more loop this time, and Ratnaike pushes this into the big expanse at mid-wicket, and Dawson does really well to track the ball and prevent a second run.
You're just going to have to get your bowling matchups right. Try and change it around, don't be too predictable. But I do, as I said, this England line, I do like the balance of it, because you do have a few spinners you can turn to, as you said. Jacob Bethel hasn't bowled as yet. Will Jacks has bowled 3 overs, has he yet so far?
Last ball of Liam Dawson's third. Steps away does Shanaka, and Dawson, the old campaigner, sees him move, so doesn't try and follow him, actually keeps it a touch wide, and it's a dot ball to end an excellent over. Steve Harmison, thoughts from pitch side. How do you feel where England are going?
Yeah, I mean, England, I don't think they've been great. I think the pitch is a lot better than what it was the other night. I think Sri Lanka are a lot better than they were the other night. And this is a big time for Sri Lanka, because they're over, in Sri Lanka, it's a surprise that they have real struggle against spin. I think they've got the second lowest strike rate against spin in their home country, which, I mean, England need to capitalise on that, because I think 200 is a score Sri Lanka will want, and England will want to kick them to a little bit lower than that.
Rashid continuing, and take a single does Ratnayake, 16 from 7 deliveries, pushing this up to the boundary at deep extra cover. 131 for 3. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube stream. My team Fulham are currently losing 1-0 to Manchester United. Not sure it should have been a free kick, but there you go. Rashid, that's a big turning leg break, and Shanaka is actually flummoxed. He's kind of half-hearted coming forward, and in a weird way that might have saved him, because he was actually so far back the ball turns past the outside edge and is fielded by Butler. Rashid again, and that's a huge swing and a miss from Shanaka with another big turning leg break from Adil Rashid. 131 for 3. Rashid is in again. There's the googly! We were wondering when that was coming. He's wrapped Shanaka on the pad right in front of the stumps, and he's gone for the review, but that looked out to me, Tubes.
Yeah, and he struggled in the first game. Adil Rashid had him on toast in the first
TV
game.
umpire director, we got a player review for LBW. Originally given out. I have checked the feed and it's a fair delivery. Can we start with front on, please?
Yeah, you're saying, Tubes, try and speak within. The third umpire isn't.
Yeah, and it was just. He had him in.
Yeah. Appears to be Pat first. Can we confirm with outrage, please?
Well, he hasn't touched it, I don't think, Tubes, and he's been.
Yeah, outrage coming up. Gap between bat and ball. Take it forward.
Smashed in front of.
Fat line as ball passes the bat. I'm satisfied. No bat involved. We can move on to ball tracking.
I think he's only hoping that it turned too much and it's missing the stumps.
Thank you.
That's the only thing I think he's thinking. Is what he was showing Ratnayake. He's going, I reckon that's turned massively. But as I was saying, Adil Rashid had him on toast in the first game. He couldn't pick the wrong one. And he bowled him two big leg spinners, bowled him the wrong one. He's not
original decision out, pitching outside off, impact in line. Wickets hitting. Chamara, you can stay with your original decision. Stand by. You're on screen. Sorry, wait. You're on screen, make the signal.
So finally we get there. 131 for 4, 13.4 overs in. The TV director picked up on the wrong umpire. And Shanaka has got to go. That was a difficult innings to watch. 1 run coming from 6 deliveries. He was completely bamboozled by 2 leg breaks from Rashid, and then equally flummoxed by the googly, and he's given up a review. So well done, skipper.
Well, he played that leg spin like I would play it. I'm telling you, for a top order batsman, he has no clue. And somewhere where you're most probably thinking that he's seeing a lot of spin. It's like he had never seen leg spin before. And as you said, Adil Rashid bowling beautifully, and this Harry Brook is turned to his 2 most experienced spinners in Liam Dawson and Rashid, who have given him the 2 breakthroughs, and they needed it.
Now we find Tarith Asalanka at the crease. We're expecting him before Shanaka. First of all, the left-hander, and this is crunched away to backward point. No run. So England just hitting back with a couple of important wickets. Sri Lanka losing 2 wickets for just 3 runs. And at the time it looked like a poor review. plenty of loop, and there's a run and a shot at the stumps at the non-strikers. Lanka's got to get a groove on. Joss Buttler, and he in a sprint. The ball fired at the stumps at the non-strikers. I think he probably would have made it anyway. The ball just going a little squarer than he thought, allowing Buttler to run from behind the stumps, pick up the ball and field. But that's the end of over number 14. Will Jacks is going to bowl another. He's done really well today. Rashid's first over expensive, but he's picked up another wicket. He always picks up a wicket, doesn't he? Well, how many is that in a row now? 1 for 20 from his 3. Sri Lanka after 14, 132 for 4. I think Steve Palmerston's still there, and we'll get the thoughts of Harmy a little bit later. But yeah, Tudes, this is England just pulling Sri Lanka back a touch, but with Ratnayaka still there and going at a strike rate of over 200 and batting to come. Well, Alage back in the side. Lanka. Oh, he's beaten by a spin there. The off spinner Jacks getting the ball to pitch, middle, turn, beat the outside edge, but actually doing too much. Possibly bouncing outside the line of leg stump as well. But delightful delivery from Jacks, whose 3 overs have gone for 17. He's in again, round the wicket, and on the sweep is Lanka. Straight to Archer, who's inside the circle, but comes through for a run. It's a leg by though, 132 for 4.
Yeah, spin causing problems for Sri Lanka. England have good exponents in their team. 3 bowling so far in Jacks, Adil Rashid and Dawson. I've not seen Jacob Bethell's bowlers yet. Be interested to see who he goes to. Definitely he'll go to Sam Curran and Archer.
There's Jacks here, and this delivery sees Ratnayaka squared up a touch, leading edge, fielded at extra cover, no run. Score remains 133 for 4. Starts to run in, does Will Jacks, but sees the batter move, so decides not to bowl the ball. Now he comes. Oh, there's an inside edge that nutmegs Joss Buttler behind the stumps, and it's going to travel down to the boundary for 4. Harry Brook looks to the heavens, and that's a fortunate boundary going the way of Ratnayaka, who moves to 20, and Sri Lanka, who moved to 137 for 4.
Yeah, Will Jacks just sort of threw his hand in the air, just said whatever. It was well bowled, thick inside edge, nutmegging or pannering, it was as the kid would say. Joss Buttler behind the stumps, Adil Rashid chasing after it. He can only just go and gather the ball and throw it back.
Jacks again, movement again from Ratnayaka, who clips this towards mid-wicket, sets off quickly, but the fielder comes in, and it's just a run. 138 for 4. And Will Jacks, I haven't really seen much of his batting, have we, in the series, but he's produced it with the ball today. Great crowd in on a Sunday night in Kandy. Thousands in. What a superb atmosphere. As Jacks is in and around off stump, with Lanka happy to play deep in his crease with a straight blade, opens the bat face a touch, takes a single, and that's the end of over number 15. And Will Jacks 4 overs is done, 1 for 24. Brilliant stuff from him, and Sri Lanka now find themselves 139 for 4. What kind of total do you expect to see tonight on the Sri Lankans, Tubes?
Yeah, listen, you know, when's that? 4 to go. They need 5 overs to go. You're thinking if you can go at 10 over, it's not going to be easy with the spinners that England have. Adil Rashid is becoming tricky. Liam Dawson, Jacks just finishing 1 for 24 off his 4.
Rashid continuing on the sweep is Lanka. Rashid wants this. This ball has turned back into the left-hander, hit him in front. And Buttler, Brook and Rashid are going to have a chat, and I've got a feeling they might go upstairs for this one. Yep, they do.
Yeah, good decision, I think. Looked close. Adil Rashid and Buttler behind the stumps were confident. Captain Harry Brook just wanted to make sure.
TV umpire to director, we got a clear review for LBW, originally given not out. I have checked the feet and it's a fair delivery. Can we start with front on, please?
It's always a touch more confusing for the umpire when it's a leg spinner bowling to a left-handed bat and the ball is turning back into the batter.
Can you give me the outrage to confirm any batting ball?
I think these are given out more regularly when it's a right-handed batter and it's an off spinner.
you.
It's a googly, you see. That's why. It's hit the batter on his arm. It's not touched the glove. Well, I don't think it does.
Waiting for outrage.
Wearing 2 wristbands, and on his a left-handed batter, his left arm, he's wearing like a wristband. It felt like he's hit that on his follow through.
Yeah, take it forward.
Oh, is there a little edge there?
Yeah. Can you freeze it there? I can see clear spike when the ball is next to the bat. Go back to on-field umpire, please. Chamara, you can stay with your original decision. Stand by. You're on screen, make the signal.
Well, I'll be interested to see where the ball would have gone on to, and I certainly didn't see an edge there at first view, nor second, third or fourth. So, you know, that's where it's gone. England have now lost both reviews. Sri Lanka have one left. I can see why they went for that. Absolutely. So there's a surprise there. Very, very small outside edge. Sri Lanka down the track, and Rashid sees him coming. And it's going to be a single with the fielder dashing in from the boundary. That deep mid-wicket. Really mixing it up, isn't he, Rashid? He's getting some big turn for his both leg break and googly. And Sri Lanka will be pleased to see the back of him. Down the track again, Ratnayaka, who's 21 from 10. It's that feet. The feet of Ratnayaka, which I really like. Sometimes you can see batters, obviously 22 from 11, you know, it's almost they're doing it for the sake of doing it, or just trying to get into the mind of the bowler. This is very measured. It's just, I imagine, he's played a lot of first-class cricket. Ratnayaka faced a lot of spin. On the sweep this time, Sri Lanka, he hits that hard, but it's going to be fielded at the second or third attempt by Tom Banton, who has put down a catch today. And can't prevent the second run. And Sri Lanka coming back. Moves to 5 to score 143 for 4. England will be relatively happy with singles and twos. Trying to prevent the boundaries.
Just a variation from Rashid that makes him so important for this England side. As you said, he also is threatening with wickets, but he also keeps the flow of the runs down.
Certainly does. Just 24 runs from the 3.4 overs. His first over actually was a touch expensive. Lots of loop there, flight, and it's driven back to the bowler by Sri Lanka. So another dot ball. So slowing the pace a touch there, Rashid. 11 dot balls from his 3.5 overs. And Will Jacks at 1 for 24 as well. Jacks, Dawson and Rashid all bowled very well today. That's the pace where the batters have gone and touched. Googly to end, cut to backward point, and it's hit very, very hard actually. So Sri Lanka has to make his ground very quickly. A dive at the striker's end. The ball is fired at the stumps. End of over number 16. Sri Lanka asked to bat first. 144 for 4. I don't know what, 8 and over from here. Choose 8, 16, 24, 32. Yeah, you're pushing 180. Yeah. I don't think England would have a problem chasing down 100. I'm not saying they wouldn't have a problem in eventuality, but you know, I think they'll walk out there, they'll think, yep, 180 is within grasp.
Yeah, Russell Arnold in the pitch report, he said 160, anything above 160, you've got a chance. And he said with spin, it's going to be trial bar spin. Obviously Patnaika at the start with his slinging action, he's going to be interesting and exciting to watch, and England have to be mindful. But spin's obviously causing the issues. As Archer comes back onto, that's going to be pace with some cutters. I'm sure that Ratnayaka and Sri Lanka will be targeting seam.
Right then, Asalanka, he's yet to really get going. 6 from 10. First ball, it's fired in, but full by Archer. No timing at all from Asalanka, who sees his attempted drive down the ground. It's more of a miscued push to wide mid-on for a single. Both he and Shanaka really struggling to get to grips with the innings. Shanaka's innings, 6 balls stay for 1. And now Asalanka, 11 balls at the crease. He's just 7. Ratnayaka though, 22 from 11. As Archer is in over the wicket, steps away from the crease, does Ratnayaka, and this loops up towards mid-wicket. Again, smart fielding, although Butler doesn't claim the ball behind the stumps. Back up though, so just a run. 146 for 4 Sri Lanka. Here on TalkSport 2, the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Alex Tude and Steve Harmison, as ever, part of the commentary team. 10 and over from here, 183. The current run rate is pushing 9, so they continue at that. 179, a target of 180. Down the track and driven in the air and past the fielder. Mid-off, thought for a moment, in with a chance of the catch. Hasn't gone too far, but it's just evaded him and nobody out on the boundary. So a welcome 4 runs coming the way of Asalanka, and Sri Lanka have 150 on the board.
A good fade on it, Johnny. It just kept going away from the fielder at mid-off. Just kept fading away, going away, thinking had a chance, and then it just went away. Boundary nevertheless. Asalanka would be happy with that.
Full again, cut away, and Asalanka, what a goal! He's been put down! Who's that out there at deep extra cover? Phil Salt running around the boundary. He got to the ball, he put in the dive, got 2 hands to it, then dropped it and diverted the ball back past the fielder at deep point and away to the boundary for 4. If you don't laugh, Tubes, you're going to cry.
Yeah, as a bowler you cry. It's a back of a hand slower ball. He's gone up and over that sort of cover, extra cover region. Phil Salt has raced around the boundary. He's made a tremendous dive. He's taken a catch. As he's landed, he's sort of popped out as he was going down. I think Will Jacks was coming in to see if he could maybe help, and he just sort of palmed it on to the boundary. and Archer's just like, yeah.
Archer again. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful from Asalanka. 3rd is up inside the circle. There's no slip, of course. Just a fraction of width. Not much. It's more the angle going across the left-hander. And Asalanka hasn't tried to keep this ball down. He's just guided the ball head high, vacant first, well, second slip, and down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, executed beautifully. It's an off-cutter from Archer, rolling his fingers across the seam. Asalanka just playing it really late, like trying to take it out of the keeper's hands, really, by the stumps, and just rolling his wrists. Vacant 3rd, like London buses. 3 in a row, 3 boundaries.
Last ball of the over. Archer in. That's Yorker length. Dug out by Asalanka. Strong end to an expensive over. Archer's 3 overs are gone for 40. Sri Lanka 3 overs remaining in the innings. 159 for 4.
Yeah, good last ball. Didn't want that going for a boundary. As I said, try and get out your over. But Archer's 3 overs today have been costly. It's gone for 40. And this was the issue really with Seam. Seems to be what the Sri Lankans are targeting. Spin's becoming a little bit more difficult just because of the pitch. It's gripping, and the bowlers are bowling cleverly. But for the seamers, hasn't been the case. But it's going to be seen that Harry Brook's going to have to turn to, unless he tries Bethel. I know that Dawson has 1 more over, and it will be him who will bowl this next over.
Right then, 3 overs remaining here on TalkSport 2, TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. The spinners once again have been fantastic for England, and we're going to see the final over from Liam Dawson, whose 3 overs have gone for 24. He, Will Jacks and Adil Rashid have all picked up a wicket. And down the track comes Lanka and turns a full delivery into a full toss, but can't pull it up and over the boundary. Hits it straight down the ground for a single. 160 for 4 then, Sri Lanka, looking good for a score. Russell Arnold did the pitch report, said 160, did he say, or 170? 160, that was not the minimum, but needed to get up there, right? So there are a few that know more about Sri Lankan cricket than he, so already you'd feel Sri Lanka going to be ahead of the game, especially when you consider they were asked to bat first. Although listening to Shanaka at the toss, and I know there's a bit of kidology at times, he didn't seem that bothered. He almost seemed like it was the better time to bat, unlike the first match. As Dawson round the wicket on the reverse goes Ratnayaka, and can't connect. Trying to reverse sweep this ball over backward point. Butler fumbles, but it's a dot ball. Dawson's excellent afternoon continues, although the last time I said that. This time pulls on the sweep, powerfully, brilliantly by Ratnayaka. Rolls the wrists, plenty of force. That wasn't a bad ball by Dawson, but the field long on and mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket, can't converge in time, so another 4. Sri Lanka move on, 164 for 4.
Yeah, tremendously executed, flat batted.
Looks like a hockey shot.
Yeah, really good wrist, bottom hand coming through.
This time, it's clipped away, won't reach the boundary, it's aerial, and it'll be a single as well. So Ratnayaka moves to 28, he continues his fine series. Sam Curran is starting to warm up. He bowled the first over of the innings and we haven't seen him since. Went for 14. Harry Brook is going to have to get 1 from Curran and 1 from either Archer or Overton, unless Bethel comes on. Lanka started to speed up now, a bit slow to get going. The ODI skipper, 21 from 16, just being made to wait by Dawson. He now is ready to bowl. He's in. Bit of foot movement from Lanka. Tries to steer this ball between backward point and short third, and doesn't manage to do so. Sam Curran's just wringing his hands. Just a run, 166 for 4.
Bowling hand as well. He has made a suggestion to the dressing room just to maybe come out and have a little look at that. Might need that looking after. Grimacing.
Dawson just waits, having a chat with Harry Brooks. Brains Trust, Dawson, Brook and Butler, I think maybe just taking a bit of time out the game while Sam Curran has some treatment on the fingers on his left hand. I lost a fingernail there. Now England ready. Dawson with Ratnayaka. Another good innings here, 28 from 15, and it's a full toss on the pads. Ratnayaka trying to target deep mid-wicket, but Jacob Bethel runs round, fields, and Dawson's 4 overs come to an end. 32 runs from the 4 and a wicket. Another canny performance from England's number 8, number 9. And Sam Curran's still getting treatment on his little finger. So whether he's going to be able to bowl this over, I think he was going to bowl over number 19, and now England might be turning to Jofra Archer, not Overton. Either way, Sri Lanka 167 for 4. 20 runs from the final 2 overs will see them up to 190. Going to have a really good game here today, Tudes.
There we are, yeah. As you said, Russell Arnold in his pitch report, he said anything above 160 and England are going to have to bat well to chase it down. Here's Sam Curran coming on to bowl the 19th over. See if he bowls his back of the hand. He did moon ball, which is around about the 42, 44 mile an hour region. He can get it up to 80. So it's a massive change. It's caused a lot of batters around the world a few problems. They are starting to look for it though. He has to get his Yorkers, as you say, with 12 balls left potentially if they bowl well, no extras. And he's put 2 on it to 24. Gives Sri Lanka a really good total. 191. Will I make that 191 if that is the case? 24 from the final 12, Johnny.
Yeah, this could be it's been a fantastic white ball series. The ODIs kept us in. I mean, England didn't like the pitch for the second of the 3, but it was engaging cricket. Come from behind win. There was storylines, good bowling, good batting. Some exceptional batting actually from Harry Brook. Full delivery from Sam Curran, and it's dug away for a single. Again, England, I tell you, there's one thing that I think we should keep an eye out. There's been maybe 4 or 5 occasions when Sri Lanka have run the first run very, very fast, and England's outfield has been really on it, and they've been prevented from turning back for those seconds. Let's see what happens when England are batting. Let's see if Sri Lanka's outfielding can match what we've seen from England tonight.
Really important that you always get to the ball really quickly, even if the throw is not great, and a couple of times from England it hasn't. As you said, the approach to the...
Down the track, and Lanka has skied this, but it's gone behind the batter. One bounce over the boundary. Gets down to one knee, and he's trying to sweep this, almost clip this. He's got it way, way straighter than he intended. But the end result is the same. 172 for 4.
He's gone for the scoop a little bit. He's gone down, just trying to help that along yet. He's got a thick edge. As you said, at this stage it doesn't really matter how they come. Just look in the book, it says 4. You can just add that onto the score. And always putting the bowler under pressure, trying to claw it back.
Yeah, Sam Curran went for 14 from his first over. He's gone for 5, but we know that Sam can battle back at any point. Hat-trick in the last match. And he's in now, over the wicket, full delivery on off stump, and it's steered through mid-wicket by Lanka for a single. Score moves on, 173 for 4, and Sam's still nursing that injury to his small finger on his left hand, which, can you imagine that makes bowling any easier, Tudes?
No, it isn't, but it will take a lot to wheel Sam Curran off. He's a fighter, he loves a battle. He's been really good in this format for England and for franchises around the world. Generally leading it, actually. He's been really good captain. Won a few trophies. He's got that experience to add with Harry Brook.
Yeah, he's bleeding from his little finger. He's got a big wodge of tissue out there, which he's using between deliveries. You know, when you know way more than I, when you get your finger injured or it's banged or whatever's happened, holding the ball isn't full again, and Ratnayaka this time is going to take a 4. 2 bounces behind the wicketkeeper, almost falling over as he tries to paddle this. Clear tactic from Sri Lanka to combat the full nature of Sam Curran's deliveries, and it's paying off. Ratnayaka moves to 34. 177 for 4 Sri Lanka here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, he's trying to get those Yorkers in, just getting it slightly wrong. Low full toss. And Ratnayaka batting deep in the crease, just helping that along, as you said. You've got third and short fine leg in the 30-yard circle, so it's a safe shot if you get any bat on it. He's gone with pace. As you said, he can mix up his pace and bowl that moon ball which is a lot slower, but he's gone for pace going for the Yorker, and he's just using that to elevate it up and over the keeper.
I talked about Ratnaika's foot movement. That time the foot movement wasn't coming towards the bowler, it was going back. So his stance is outside the crease, and then at the last minute he dashes behind it, and this is down the leg side and should be called wide. Little guilty look to the umpire there from Sam, and another run added, 178 for 4. Yeah, and so essentially he turns a Yorker into, well, no, he messes with Sam's lengths, and it's helped up and over. He actually hit it from the full face of the bat, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. As you said, Johnny, he's being smart. They are these batters now. A lot of guile. And you say he's batting outside the crease, but then he's going right back, using the depth of his crease, messing with length.
This time he stays where he is, and he's going to pick up. No, great fielding from Bethel at deep point. Actually wasn't a great delivery from Sam. It ended up doing a full toss outside off stump, and Ratnaika has tried to place this. He hasn't timed it. He's got it over the infield, and as soon as that happens you think, the ball's heading to the boundary. But Jacob Bethel had other ideas, running round. Took him a couple of attempts, but finally stopped the ball, but didn't manage to prevent 2 runs being added to the score. 180 for Sri Lanka for 4 with an over and a delivery to go. His Curran is in, full toss again, driven on the up, and again mid-off thinking there's a chance for a catch, but it goes across that brook. He can't get down in time to prevent the ball going past the fielder and away to the boundary. And Curran has been expensive in both the overs he's bowled today. 3 fours in over number 2, and Sri Lanka are up to 184 for 4 with 1 over remaining in their innings.
Yep, and this was always going to be the issue, wasn't it? Where the seamers were leaking runs. He just tried to get his Yorkers in, which is fine. You know, low full tosses. As you say, Ratnaika, Lanka have been able to adapt, and they've played it well. Harry Brook was inside the circle at mid-off. It just pierced between him and the fielder at cover. In that vacant space, Sri Lanka move on to 184 for 4. 6 balls left. Archer, who's been expensive, his 3 overs have cost him 40. He'll want a better finish. Anything less than double figures, he would have done well.
Yes, we could have a fantastic game for you here on TalkSport 2. Sri Lanka 184 for 4 with Pavan Ratnaika 40 not out, strike rate of 200, and there's been some quality shots in there, some proper cricket shots, as we say, in and amongst the more outrageous efforts that we see. Lanka though facing, and Archer is going to get away with this delivery, which is on a length, hitting the pads of the left-hander, and the field is out. That's a fine leg, so just another run added. 5 balls remaining, but Sri Lanka have the batter they want at the crease. Ratnaika.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he got away with that. I would say Archer bowled a ball at 89 miles an hour, firing at the 5 pad, but fine leg is very fine. So he got away with that. 5 balls left. What's he got?
Long off going back is at deep point, short at third, and short fine leg with fielder at deep mid wicket. Ooh, goes across the stumps, does Ratnaika, misses, and that ball goes very close to the top of off stump. It's fielded but fumbled by Butler behind the stumps, and that allows the 2 batters to cross. So 1 by added. Yeah, with those fielders up inside the circle at third and at fine leg, you can see the plan from Ratnaika. Couldn't connect, so this has been a decent start to the over from Archer. Just 2 runs coming from his final over. He has been expensive. Can England peg Sri Lanka back right at the death. That's Lanka ready, but Archer doesn't look happy. He's moaning about, he wants fine leg up, yeah. Fine leg coming up inside the circle, rolling round the wicket, back of the hand, slower delivery from Archer, and he's dropped! Another chance has gone down, this time at backwards square leg, and I think it's Banton again. He's already put one down today. That was a tougher opportunity from the bowling of Jamie Overton, but he saw this one all the way. Or maybe he didn't. You know, maybe the floodlights dazzled him, but it looked like a straightforward opportunity. Chance has gone down, but it's just a run. It's only a run.
It's a dolly, Johnny. It's a slower ball back of the hand. Lanka climbed into it. He got there easily. He's made up the distance. Actually, he didn't really have to move. It's like, as you said, possibly the lights, Johnny. He's gone back, and then his hands are away from his body.
He goes again with the back of the hand, slower delivery, and this time the ball will be caught. Jacob Bethel running in from mid-wicket. Minimal celebration from Archer. And Ratnayaka's innings has come to an end. Another fine knock. He goes for 40. There's another thing that I saw from the side on camera. Did you notice how deep or how far back from the crease Archer was when he bowled that? You know, you see that sometimes with spinners they bowl by the umpire basically, or by the stumps. It must have been a foot inside the line.
Yeah, no. As you say, bowlers do that now as Ratnayaka departs for 40 of 22 balls. Really good, busy innings from him. Applauded by the great man Sanit Jayasuriya. He played some scintillating innings in his time at the top of the order for Sri Lanka. Got his team into a really good position. 187 for 5. Archer, as you said, there was no emotion in that at all. 2 for 41. He's been expensive. I think he's still fuming from the drop catch from Tom Banton, but that happens. It looks like possibly the lights may have affected him because his hands were away from his body. He didn't have to move. It's like he must have just misjudged it because his legs went back, hands away from his body.
Archer again just dropped short of Rashid inside the circle. Actually not a bad bit of fielding. He's at short fine leg, just 45. Just died in front of him. Could have been a catch on another day. Another back of the hand delivery. We're just seeing a replay of the dismissal. Jacob Bethel just settling into position, saw it all the way. Yeah, it just seemed like Banton was, he lost the flight of the ball on the field because he's in position, then realises it's going to the right of him, but he's stationary, his body isn't going towards the ball, and then he just has to fling his hands out to try and catch it two-handed and puts it down, but it doesn't matter too much, I suppose. Short, and Lanka's wrapped on the ribs, on the pull. That's the end of what has turned out to be a fantastic final over for England. Just 5 runs coming from it and the wicket. Archer's still chuntering away, he's not happy. Brook just runs over, put his arm round fast bowler's shoulder and says, come on, it's okay, he's still got a wicket. And off they troop. 189 for 5 then, Sri Lanka. England will need 190 to win this game and take the series. There was innings of note throughout the card. Nissanka and Mishara getting Sri Lanka off to another good start. 56 for the first wicket. Indeed, Sri Lanka put on 106 before they lost their second wicket. 34 from 22 from Nissanka. He was the first to go and looked really good as well. 3 4s and 2 6s before he chopped on. Jofra Archer bouncing back to dismiss the opener. Second batter to go was Mishara. He was a bit slower to get going because essentially Nissanka was hogging the strike for the first bit of the innings. 36 from 30, and Kusal Mendes weighing in the lovely cameo, 32 from 17, strike rate of 188. At that point, England had brought on the spinners. Will Jacks actually bowled over number 3, Dawson over number 5, Jacks again over number Jackson's overs number 3 and 5, and Dawson number 4, and that kind of stopped Sri Lanka in their tracks a touch, and Jofra Archer picked up that wicket So 58 for 1 at the end of the power play, and then another acceleration from Sri Lanka. 2 wickets with Mendes dismissed and Shanaka eating up 6 deliveries for just 1, as Sri Lanka was a touch slow to get going as well. Sri Lanka lost a little bit of ground in the middle portion of their innings, 139 for 4, but pushed on towards the back end. Another fine knock from Ratnayaka. England will rue a couple of chances in the field that went down, both instances involving Tom Banton, who plays again today ahead of Ben Duckett. But at the end of the innings, 189 for 5, with Dawson, Jackson, Rashid excellent as ever. Pace expensive again. I think we've got a game here, Tudes. Not sure England would have taken 190 when they won the toss and decided to bowl first, but certainly with the batting that they possess, they won't fear it.
No, they won't fear any total at all. Just doing a bit of math there, Johnny, while you were just talking there. The 3 spinners in Jacks, Adil Rashid and Liam Dawson, they're 12 overs going for 81. The seamers, and that's Sam Curran, Joff Archer and Jamie Overton, they're 8 overs costing 103. So it just tells you that spin is going to be the one that you're going to have to be mindful. Make sure you try not to lose too many wickets and possibly target the seamers, which obviously tells us that it's a little easier to face seam, even if you're mixing up your pace or so. It's going to be sliding on with a night, with a dew, exactly. So it's not going to be easy for the seamers to grip. But spin is where England are going to have to be watchful.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how England go about things here on TalkSport 2. We will be back very shortly. Sri Lanka asked to bat first. Their innings has just come to an end. They've registered 189 for 5, so England will need 190 to win the match and take the series. So England's batters are heading out to the middle. It's Phil Salt, it's Joss Buttler, and England need 190 to win this T20 to take the series, and to see and commentate how they do for the first 4 overs. Here is Steve Harmison, and also, I don't know if Roshan Abhisinga supports the football team. We're about to find out. Either way, here he is.
Thank you, John. Yes, it's promising to be a very interesting game, because Sri Lanka have got 189. That's quite formidable, I must say. But having said that, England will pat themselves on the back, because the last 10 overs and last 7 overs in particular, England have done tremendously well. The way they pulled it back at one stage, Sri Lanka looked like getting over 200, but England have managed to restrict them. But as they say, they got runs on the board. And Buttler with a strike rate of 149 and Salt with a strike rate of 166 are out there to face Matisha Patirana, who bowled with great pace. He has a best of 4 for 24. That economy is over 8.5 runs and over, because he bowls in difficult stages of the game. So this is a new rule. We talk about it because he generally bowls after the power plays and towards the death, but he's been told you need to bowl with a new ball. Right, the countdown is done and dusted, and play is what umpire Chamara Soisa says. And Phil Salt, who gave England a wonderful start in the first game with a slightly open stance, waits for Patirana, who comes in and bowls a quick delivery on the leg stump. And Salt gets off the mark with a single.
Yeah, I quite like this from Sri Lanka, Roshan. I really do. I think bowling with Pearce, he could travel, he could go to the boundary, but I think how you slow England down, I think especially when you've got to defend 190, is trying to get wickets. And Patirana's he's a wicket-taking bowler. He bowls in excess of 90 miles an hour, so he might go for a boundary here or there because there's Pearce on. But he could pick up a wicket, and a big wicket of Joss Buttler, Phil Salt, to try and derail England early in the power play.
Matisha Patirana has his very awkward action, that slinging action, comes in, bowls to Buttler, who watches it and times it, and that will be 4. No stopping that one. There was a tremendous chase by the fielder at cover, but there was no chance at all, because it was pace on, and Buttler was looking for some width, and he got it.
Yeah, width, that's all it was. Good pace, not a bad length, but just a little bit too wide, especially when you've got you have got slip in play, but it was just too wide. Butler could open the face of the bat and guide it through that sort of backward point region. And bowl a little bit tighter onto off stump on that length, and you might cause Josh Butler a little bit more of a problem.
Short third into the 30-yard circle. Cover goes out. Back foot square leg on the boundary as Pathirana comes in. And Butler, he's forcing it again off the back foot. No stopping that. That's 4 back-to-back boundaries. Pace on. That was 146. Not sure of pace, but Butler's enjoying it.
Yeah, just comfortable, isn't it? It's comfortable for Josh Butler just to stand there. Naturally gives himself some room anywhere. Makes his own width by his body shape and the way he sets up to access the ball. And again there, just guiding it into the gap, using the pace that's on the ball. Not a lot of foot movement. 90 mile an hour and it's travelling to the boundary.
Back-to-back boundaries. Good start for England. Pathirana comes in. And Butler is pushing. This time to short third. Villalage, who is in the ring or almost at the edge of that ring, picks the ball up. That's a dot. That's also 90 miles an hour. Seem to be doing it effortlessly.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. From a visual point of view, from a batter, it looks a little bit awkward. He's not got a conventional action. That was a better line, more tighter towards off stump. Tad fuller, but tighter to off stump.
Here is Pathirana again. A very easy run up, but then that awkward action bowls, and Butler reaches for it and hits it down to deep cover. Only a single. They got 10. So he, as I said, just bowls it at that pace without much of a problem. He's just got that hip rotation, and then it's so slinging. I think it's the rotation that makes him get that pace, and he just hit almost every ball intentionally. So my question to you, Harmy, is, I mean, how tough is it as a fast bowler? I'll let you talk about it at the end of the over. I'll let you expand on the matter, but let me ask the question: how tough is it for someone to run in, let's say different action, let's take you for example, run in and constantly bowl every ball at 90 or more? Here comes Pathirana, bowls a ball that is slower and taken at slip. Salt goes, and wicket number 1 for England. That was definitely pace off, and Salt played a little bit early, and this was the wicket they were after, and Pathirana strikes.
This is why you take your wicket taker, take the new ball in the power play, chasing a decent sized total. We've seen Butler hit 4 off the second and third ball of the over, but this time just a little bit wider, a little bit slower. Salt's expecting the 90 mile an hour exocet. Pathirana didn't give him it. He gave him the slower ball, made him reach for it, and Phil Salt was only able to guide it to short third and a comfortable catch. Good start from Sri Lanka.
Right, Salt out for 1, so England are 10 for 1. Quick reminder that you're listening to TalkSport 2, and you're also watching TalkSport Cricket on the YouTube channel. And the new batter coming out is Jacob Bethel. And just quickly to throw that question at you, how challenging would it be for someone like you, maybe run in, intentionally bowl maybe 2 overs, 3 overs of 90 miles an hour deliveries?
I think in the shorter format of cricket, i.e. the 4 overs T20, I don't think it's that hard. You just got to get a point to be loose enough to get a rhythm, knowing that you've only got 4 overs to bowl. So your fastest, when you're putting pace on, it needs to be fast. Taking pace off, you execute it well, but you've only got 4 overs, so that's not as challenging as what I would say in test matches.
Shanaka starting the bowling at the far end, shipped away on the onside by Butler for a single.
It's holding your nerve, so there's a lot of things can come into play there, Roshan. So you, as a bowler, you run in, you try and you stand at the top of your mark, you have your plan in your head. This is what I'm going to bowl. You execute it as well as you can. And I always say to young bowlers, when you let go of the ball, there's not much, you can't do anything. You've got no control of what happens next. Because you can bowl your best ball, but the batter could hit his best shot and hit you for 6. And it's about going back through the process, holding your nerve, and coming back and trying to put that procedure in again. And if you bowl in excess of 90 mile an hour, like what we've seen there, doesn't matter if you go for a couple of boundaries, knowing that you keep your speeds up, you keep your pace high, and you put batters under pressure that way, and then they succumb.
Shanaka comes in, and Bethel forces it off the back foot to a ball slightly short of a length. And a single down to deep cover. So 12 for 1 into the second over. Sri Lanka has to play it smart. I'll be very interested to see. Now, Shanaka's stats, just 42 wickets, economy little over 8. 3 for 18 is best. What I'm interested is to see how the Sri Lankan spin will be met by the England batters. I mean, the English spinners were so good. At the start, they were taken a little bit apart as Shanaka comes in. Oh, caught behind his A. They're asking for a catch. They're very confident. Not the umpire. He doesn't think he's out. Well, they're having a chat. They're not sure. They thought there was a nick. They're not going to go upstairs. Well, I mean, it surprises me because you appeal full throttle and then you don't take the review.
I think I'd have gone for this. I think there was 2 noises, whether it's Butler's gloves off his leg. It definitely hit his back leg, because I think that's why it's gone down. I just wonder if he got anything on it in between time. Suggests because the ball's gone down, it's not come off, obviously, off the wooden part of the bat. It's come off the top of the back pad. But unfortunately for Sri Lanka, Josh Butler's got both feet off the ground, so was definitely going over the stumps from an LBW point of view.
Shanaka comes in. Butler forces it 4 off the back foot. Well, one thing about Butler is that when he gets it and times it well in the gap, it's no stopping. Such good timer on the ball. He doesn't try to overhit it, but pure timing.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of width. Trying to run his fingers across the seam, just bowl a little bit of a cutter, which he's dragged it down and didn't quite get it right as Shanaka. So again, giving Butler width, it's criminal. You've got to be tight to that off stump.
16 for 1, and he looks to charge, doesn't time it. Spoke about what a good timer he is. That time he misses out a single. The Shanaka took a lot of pace off the ball, so another single. 17 for 1. So just the point I was making is how good will the England batters be against the Sri Lankan spin, because England spinners were outstanding. I mean, even Will Jacks, he was good. Dawson, as usual, very efficient. Adil Rashid teased the batters, so by and large they were outstanding. 12 overs went for a little over 80 or under 80. Here is this delivery. Oh no! That was a good effort. For a moment I thought it was in the air, it was catchable, it was not. Bethel will get a boundary, and that was Pawan Ratnayaka, who had really, I thought he had some time there. But let's talk about it. But first, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
I just wonder if Ratnayaka doesn't come into the ball, he goes away from the ball, and I think that's cost him. The ball dipped right at the very end. At the last minute, the ball dipped. I think if Ratnayaka is coming towards the ball from inside the 30-yard circle, I think he manages to get that on the full. But because he has to go to his left and he takes a couple of steps back, I don't think he's been able to get that on the full. So England are going to be tested now against that spin. Roshan, and in the series so far, I think England have played spin very, very well. I think largely down to the fact that Root and Brook have been the ones in the 50-over format. But even the other night, I think Shana didn't go too well. Even Hasaranga in the last 50-over game and the other night was very, very expensive.
It's a difficult time to bowl spin with the power play on. It's where Lalage comes in. Goes the first delivery. Just a bit of grip, I thought. And Butler playing it with a slightly open face, plays it back up the pitch. So Sri Lanka throwing that spin option. We're getting a replay on that last shot, almost of the toe of the bat. not in control. Vilalage bowls and Butler plays the reverse and effortlessly gets a boundary. Oh, what a tremendous addition the reverse is to a batter's repertoire of batting.
Again, with all the men inside the circle behind square on both off and leg side, it seems to be easier in this contest to get the ball from a reverse or a sweep point of view, a conventional sweep, to go up. A lot of players that have gone with the sweep have not tried to keep it down, they've purposely gone over the top.
Vilalage bowls, and that's slightly towards the leg stump and push through quicker. See, shots like that will alter the thinking of the bowler. I mean, if he's looking to find some turn, grip around the off stump, beat the outside edge, and then bowl slower, it will make him bowl quicker and bowl more leg stumpish. Vilalage comes in, bowls again. Butler meets it with the full face of the bat down to long off for a single.
Good from Butler. 20 off, 21 off, 13 balls. He's looked comfortable so far. Bethel's just had that one scoring shot. England have done well against the seamers in the power play. Well, again, started very, very well. It was a good shot that Josh Butler reverse swept for 4. But apart from that, he's got a good line, he's got this optimum speed, and he's got the ball to grip.
Right, he continues from round the wicket to Bethel. Yep, you can hear the grunt as he pushes it through. Only a single. Fielded by Pathum Nissanka in the deep. He's conceded 6 runs of the first 5 balls. When you consider that he's bowling in the power plays and also given away a boundary, if he can finish off well, maybe with a single, ideally a dot for Sri Lanka, it'll be a very good over. Let's see. From round the wicket comes in. And goes to Butler. Oh my goodness. That went between the bat and body, and it's cut off in the deep. But no, it's not. I thought Pathirana managed to pull it back, but it just bounced away for 4. They will get a boundary to end the over. 31 for 1 at the end of 3. And a quick reminder, you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
I think Josh Butler's waiting for the sound there. Waiting for the sound, waiting for the death rattle. It was a beauty from around the wicket. Just flighted beautifully. Went on with the arm, went on with the angle. And Josh Butler, neither forward nor back, between bat and pad. Ball bouncing. Fortunately for the record holder of appearances for England, Josh Butler, the ball went over the top of leg stump and past Kusal Mendes for 4.
Right, England got a very strong batting force with Pantone next at 154. Brook, strike rate over 150. Curran 131. You think Jacks will bat lower than Curran? I don't think so. Jacks 135. Yeah, really?
Yeah, they've got Jacks down at 7.
Orton 108. Dawson 158. Archer 132. And look at Rashid, he's the only one under 100 as the first delivery from a new bowler, Eshan Malinga. For everyone, for our listeners listening to TalkSport, Eshan Malinga is from the gem mining area called Ratnapura and comes from very humble beginnings. Came over, played for Ragama Cricket Club, which was my club, and did exceptionally well. And here he is, playing for Sri Lanka. Here comes Malinga bowls. Pace off again. This is clever. He is very clever. And you know how, this is a story, how we found him. There was a video that he had recorded, and with broken shoes, and in some place in his village where he's planted 3 sticks, and he's got someone to film himself running in and bowling. So this video was sent to me. We saw that. We saw maybe 2 or 3 deliveries, and we made up our mind it's worth to give this guy a go. As here comes Malinga, bowls outside the off stump, steered, and it's a run for the man at deep cover. A fumble, only a couple of runs. So that was an amazing opportunity.
It's great hearing stories like that, because what you find is with talent, with natural talent, their ceiling level and their ability to get better because of their work rate and what it means to them to try and make themselves better you think, well, on that video, yes, he looks as though he's got good skills. But give him a year with our good coach and our facilities, he will become a hell of a lot better.
Lanka comes in and bowls a quicker delivery and finds the man at mid-wicket, and the story gets better. I'll quickly finish it. The first ball he came and bowled at practice, he developed a back problem. He went back, attended to some medication, came back, bowled again he broke down. But thankfully
he's here.
He is here. Right, so time to join John in England, with England on 33 for 1.
Yeah, we're getting breaking news as well. We're going to bring you very, very shortly. It is massive news from the world of international cricket, and we're going to be talking about it. And certainly this week's Following On Cricket Collective with Manners and Harmy is going to be a must-listen to show, as Bethel will take a single. Buttler 20 from 13. He became the record-breaking player for England in terms of appearances, 402 today. He's gone past Jimmy Anderson across all 3 formats. And Jacob Bethel is 9 not out, so going at a run and ball. 34 for 1. The target is 190. And England going at 10 and over. That's what they need. But of course, this is the power play. 1 wicket to fall out of Phil Salt. He's gone for just 1. But that news that I'm talking about, it's just coming through. It's breaking on the ESPN Cricket Info. So we'll take it as read. The Pakistan government have made an announcement on X, formerly known as Twitter, and they have decided, if this is to be believed, that they will boycott their game against India in the upcoming T20 World Cup. This is fielded at short fine, and the fielder's done really well to throw the ball down. The ball at the stumps. Josh Buttler suddenly realises he's not beat the fielder. Bethel sends it back. That's a dive. Just for a minute there, he gets up quite slowly, does Buttler. Fear was he might have injured himself, but he seems to be okay. So 4 overs into the run chase. England 34 for 1 with Buttler and Bethel at the crease. Pakistan are set to boycott their game against India at the 2026 T20 World Cup. A decision has been made by the government of Pakistan. Alex Tudor's alongside me. This is a massive moment if it bears out. We know Bangladesh will not play in the T20 World Cup. Their place has been taken by Scotland. They have forfeited a lot of money, Bangladesh Cricket Board, for that. The players are out of pocket. Pakistan not playing India, that game is the bedrock of the ICC TV deal. And Pakistan have decided they have stopped playing ball, and they are not going to play India. And that, Alex Tudor, is going to send shockwaves around the world game.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge news. It's the showpiece in any tournament, isn't it? Pakistan, India, with the eyeballs, the ears that we listening, watching that game. You're talking well in excess of over 1 billion people, and the money that brings, sponsorship, everything.
Driven and beats the fielder. Buttler stays where he is. Bethel jogs up to him. They punch gloves. 4 more runs added to the score. Shanaka is expensive at the start of his second over. Bethel moves to 13. Yes, sorry, choose.
Yeah, I was saying like, the implications of that, the financial implications of that game not going on, the sponsorship that surrounds a Pakistan-India game in a world tournament is going to be huge. I'm sure we'll hear loads as the day and the night goes on.
Yeah, we will indeed. That game was scheduled to take place in Sri Lanka. Of course, Pakistan can't travel to India, and India don't travel to Pakistan. We know that. Full and scuffed, really. Bethel loses his body shape a touch, tries to go down the ground and really drags it. No timing at all, fielded at mid-wicket. 38 for 1 then. England just behind where Sri Lanka were at the same stage. Sri Lanka got off to a really good start again. Well, pegged back. They actually scored more runs from the first 10 overs than the second 10. 102 for 1 at the 10 over stage. So England have got time to catch up, that's for sure. Shanaka ready and past the umpire over the wicket. Short delivery, steps away. Oh, the wicketkeeper's gone up, and Shanaka thinks Jacob Bethel's edge behind, and I think Bethel's walking off. Short Bethel just stepping away, trying to uppercut this ball, and he's only managed to feather it through to the keeper. And Sri Lanka strike again, 38 for 2.
Yep, not a hard decision. A cutter from Shanaka, digging it in, rolled his fingers over it. Bethel trying to get it up and over that cover area, but getting an edge, didn't even look at the umpire, walking off. Shanaka, the skipper, happy. Yeah, you can see the spike on ultra edge. As you say, Jacob Bethel has to depart for 13. England 38 for 2. Live here, Talk Sport 2.
Bethel's had 5 innings now. An innings of note in the third ODI for sure. Really well played, 60. Unsuccessful today, 13 from 11. And it's a big fill up for Sri Lanka, who need to win this match, of course, to keep in the series. Yeah, just reacting to the news breaking that Pakistan seems set to boycott their game with India. Now, it's going to be interesting what the ICC do here, of course. The ICC, with this has been broadcast and announced. The World Cup starts next weekend. What is the ICC's move here? Shandakar again, and he is Rat Banton on the pads, possibly a little inside edge. Essentially, do the ICC, is it within their jurisdiction to say, well, if you're going to forfeit a game, then maybe you shouldn't be here at all?
It's interesting, Johnny, because at this moment, India under 19s are playing Pakistan under 19s, and this decision's come forward. So that's we've not heard the last of this, let me tell you. Absolutely huge news on the world stage of cricket. The game that gets the most eyeballs will not be happening.
And again, Shanaka is in, pushed to mid-off, and Banton sets off. Filled up extra cover, diving across. Now, if he gets to that Wella Largate, then Banton is really struggling. Banton's not had the best of days. He's put down 2 chances in the field. Maybe just a touch too eager to get off the mark. In the end, he does so. Yeah, well, if Pakistan are boycotting that match, what happens if those 2 teams scheduled to meet in the final? There hasn't been any reason given why they're boycotting the match, but it would appear it's linked to the decision not to allow Bangladesh to play full on the pads, and this is nicely clipped by Butler, but straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. Oh, what a comeback this has been from Shanaka. First ball went for 4. His final 5 deliveries have yielded just a single, and he's picked up the wicket of Jacob Bethel. England 39 for 2 after 5. And we're still just reeling from this news. Pakistan deciding they will not play India. Now, the ICC TV deal, I don't think it will be an exaggeration to say, keeps some of the smaller international teams alive. And the reason it's so vast is because of the ICC events. If teams stop playing in the ICC events and that money dries up, and there is already behind the scenes a huge discussion taking place in India about the current broadcast deal, where the belief is in India the TV company have spent way over the odds. Now, that's for a World Cup featuring India-Pakistan, which is by far the biggest game in terms of eyeballs and revenue. The biggest game in world cricket is India-Pakistan. Stepping away from the crease is Banton and cuts this to mid-off. No run. If that game does not happen, the financial ramifications are massive, not just from a country situation, a country basis, where countries are not going to get the money that they had banked on. Again, stepping away, Banton can't beat extra cover. He got off to his innings in the first T20 quite slowly and then caught up, so we won't get too stressed just yet, although we are in the power play, of course. 39 for 2 England, need 190 to win the match. On the reverse, this is what he did in the first T20 with great effect, done exactly the same. Sweeping Wella Largate on the reverse and all the way over deep point for 6, and the score moves on, 45 for 2.
It's no surprise now, isn't it, when when batters feel like they're getting bogged down a little bit, but he revert to his reverse sweep. Just normal now, normalised in the current game, modern game. Just picked it up, and he's not just helping that along, he is consciously, I'm hitting this for 6. It's gone 69 metres back, that is flown into the boundary.
Here's Wellalage again, this time. Well, he's played 3 checked cover drives and taken a run, and he takes a run there from the 3rd of them, and he's played 1 reverse sweep, and that's gone for 6. So, you know, there is definite method there. So yeah, it seems like Pakistan and Bangladesh are taking the fight to the ICC. On the reverse this time is Butler along the ground, and there's a fielder in front of point. He can't get down in time. Backward point's nowhere near, and 4 more runs added to the score. 11 runs from Wellalage's second over. 1 ball left of the power play. England find themselves 50 for 2.
Yep, Wellalage started the over well with 2 dot balls. Butler saying, well, whatever you can do, Banton, I've been around a long time, old boy. Just gone past the record.
This is final ball. Sees Butler again, giving himself room, and Wellalage follows the batter. And single to end the over, so the power play done. England set 190 to win the second T20. 51 for 2 with Tom Banton is 8, I can say Banton first. And Joss Butler is 25 from 17. Football score update for you. Fulham have pulled one back. It's 2-2. Can you believe it, Choose? 2-2.
No, I'm not surprised.
It'll probably be ruled out for some Kevin. I love you, Kevin. And it's a banger. And that's from my QPR supporting producer, Ollie Hunter. If he says it's a banger, he must have scored from his own penalty box.
I won't say what you predicted at the beginning of the game.
3-0.
You've got to have faith.
3-0 United.
You've got to have faith, mate.
All I'm thinking of is that poor bloke who had seen his team win 3 games in the bounce or something. 2 games in the bounce. He hasn't cut his hair for about 2 years. And he's thinking, hang on, I could actually be able to have my hair cut. But maybe not. Hasaranga, the leg spinner. First ball. This is cut straight to extra cover from the big meaty blade of Joss Butler, who's 25 not out. 25 from 18. Tom Banton 8 from 6. England 51 for 2. Ooh, man, lack of foot movement nearly done there for Butler. He's trying to force this. It's all hands. Coming close to an inside edge. Back onto the stumps. And he's outfoxed there. Oh, that's an absolute beauty. Genuine outside edge from the bat of Joss Butler. Fine bit of fielding from short third. Butler will come back for 3rd. That was racing to the boundary. And another little moral victory going the way of the bowler. Butler survives. He moves to 28.
He's tricky, Hasaranga. Also well in the first one. Want to bounce back. Good ball, thick edge from Butler's bat. Good fielding, and they need this. It wasn't quite as good in the first match. Sri Lanka had to step it up. It's doing so far.
Stepping away from the crease and playing us back to Hasaranga. No run. Banton is 8 from 7. Butler 28 from 20. We're in the 7th over. England need 190 to win the game. This is a lovely over from Hasaranga as Banton just trying to play across the line. He's pulling this a little bit. There's no real timing. It's fielded at deep mid-wicket. 4 runs coming from the over.
John, you might not want to look at your phone.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, fella.
Oh, I was wondering why you were smiling. I was thinking, why is the QPR fan smiling? Pushed out to long on. And that's a single, end of the over. Can you believe it? 3-2 Manchester United. And Sesko, of all players.
Well, you know you're having a bad day then. I mean, forgive me, but he doesn't score too often, does he?
Unbelievable. You've lost me there. 7 overs in, just when I was thinking a famous point at Old Trafford. That would be a lovely way to continue the sporting action. And Fulham have come from 2-0 down, 2-2, now 3-2 to Manchester United. Let's concentrate on this game, shall we? But Jos Buttler 29 not out, and Tom Banton 9. Good over from Hasaranga there, and Shanaka continuing to chop and change. He's going to bring back Malinga, who was expensive on occasion in the first T20, but did show some good variations. First ball, and this is bang on the money, defended back to the bowler by Buttler, who remains 29 not out.
Yeah, and it's important, that ball there, just tucking Buttler up, not giving him room to let those arms free. And it'll be interesting how Sri Lanka's seamers go. England's were expensive in their 8 overs that they threw down tonight. They went for 108. It was the spin that dragged it back for England.
56 for 2 then, England. And Malinga again. And this is just pushed down to the offside. Banton gets off a touch slowly actually, but in the end it's a comfortable single.
Just look busier, don't they, Sri Lanka? As I said, a little bit disappointing in the field in that first game. Stepping it up here.
Bless you.
There you. They just look on it tonight. Oh no, Johnny.
Oh, that's a shame. The bad news continues. It's not a 4th goal at Old Trafford, but there is some rain and it's just started to fall. And the ground staff, I don't even think they're waiting for the umpire to make the decision. They're running on with the big blue tarpaulin as well as the Hessen covers, and rain is stopping play in Kandy with England 57 for 2, needing 190. And we'll wait and see what kind of hold up we can expect. But that's a shame actually, Choose, because this game was bubbling away nicely.
Yeah, it was, yeah. As I said, England with Buttler, Banton in, just starting to get after it. And Sri Lanka looking busy in the field, looking up for it, looking good. He's in for a good game. As you said, the tarpaulin has come on. Would it be lying if there was about 50 people with the ground staff sort of helping putting all this stuff on? And it's fantastic because obviously, you know, you don't do too much rain getting on the outfield, and they do try to cover every blade of grass while they're out there. Hopefully it's just a passing shower. It doesn't interrupt with what I feel is going to be a very close game.
Yeah, we'll await updates from the grounds. Scott Taylor, the producer, saying closer to 100 people. I mean, they do actually find when you go to these cricket grounds in Sri Lanka that the ground staff, it's not unheard of them to be living actually on the ground or at the ground. The rain, as things stand, looks like it's coming down very, very heavily, doesn't it? And the players back in the pavilion just watching on, and the ground staff bringing on more blue covers. So yeah, your thoughts from the game so far? Really, we've seen some decent batting actually. Sri Lanka 30s for Nisanka, Mishara and Mendes, 40 for Ratnayake, and a couple of wickets there as well. The spinners for England really did a trick, but of course that rain's not going to help Sri Lanka, is it? Sri Lanka's spinners when they come on to bowl.
No, it's not, and they've been good. Started this innings off so far. As I said, they batted well, got up to a really good total. Went after England seamers. They thought that was going to be on the menu really, where spin was going to be difficult. In the 12 overs of England spinners, they only went for 81. In the 8 overs of seam that England threw down, they went for 108. So it was always going to be difficult, and I think this is the way that England can approach it. Just be interesting to see if we get some action, if this rain disappears, how the captain Shanaka manoeuvres and just changes his bowlers around.
Okay, well look, while we wait for that, we will of course be continuing our broadcast throughout the afternoon with England needing 133 runs, 76 balls to get them in, 8 wickets in hand to win the game and take the series. So it looks like we are going to get some cricket. It may well be a 17 over game. We're going to be getting underway in about quarter of an hour's time. England need 190, but that will be changed. They're behind DLS, that won't be changed. And they've got Joss Buttler and Tom Banton at the crease. And those two batters will step out onto the field in quarter of an hour. Between then and now, though, let's hear another interview that went out on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago, actually. Graham Swan, former England off-spinner, Ashes winner numerous times, was in the studio on Hawksbee and Jacobs, and he gave his verdict on the Ashes. Remember that? To Andy Jacobs and Paul Hawksbee.
Before it even got underway, Graham, I mean, were there sort of alarm bells ringing in your head because of the way they'd prepared for it?
Well, I could understand where they were coming from with the way the cricket landscape actually is these days. So you don't have the time to get everyone together like we did back in the day. But, you know, there's people who'll argue that they simply weren't ready. Back in 2010, I remember we had a month of very, very hard cricket. Andy Flower, our coach, was like a no stone unturned type of bloke, and we basically got beasted for a month. And it put us in a very good place, but I don't think you can do it these days with all the tournaments going on everywhere around the world. I don't think it's even feasible, but ideally, if they could do that again, I reckon that's the way forward, to get some tough cricket into you before the Ashes. But whether that would have helped this series, we don't know.
One of the big differences is that Labuschagne, Smith, I can't even remember all the others, they all played county cricket. They've all played for English counties. They've all experienced our conditions. So when they come here, they're used to it.
And often on the same year as an Ashes, they'll come over and play a couple of months beforehand.
I'm not that fussed about that, to be honest. I always used to like playing against guys who you're then going to play against in the Ashes, just to give you a bit of a sneak preview yourself. I understand the argument, people saying, well, you're giving them practice before a big series. But I think, you know, if you're thinking about the opposition so much, you take your eye off what you need to do yourself. So I've not got an issue with the Aussies coming to England and improving our county cricket. But obviously, if we'd won 4-1, people wouldn't be saying that. They'd love to have them over, rather than losing 4-1 when all of a sudden it's saying, no, don't let them in.
And what we're saying off air, the difference between winning and losing in this series was often just moments. But what did you make of, I think the most mysterious thing, Shoaib, the way they treated him, the way they groomed him for 2 years, especially to play at Sydney, and then didn't pick him. And given that he isn't bowled well in county cricket, he's not really a nets bowler or a minor, he's a big game bowler. He gets good players out. And you've stood by him all this time. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the big one for me was neither Australia or England played a spinner at Sydney, which is one of the greatest wickets to ever bowl spin on. So I think there's a bigger question in the game as a whole, that spinners at the moment are not very fashionable. But I did feel for Shoaib, because I've worked a lot with him, lovely lad. And I saw him in the airport on the way home, and he's, you know, he was just desperate to play. He's devastated he didn't get the game.
I don't blame him.
But one thing that has come of it, he's so hungry now to play, because he psyched himself up thinking he was going to get that Ashes series under his belt, and he didn't. And now he's absolutely champing at the bit to get going this season. So hopefully some good will come of that.
I mean, given Will Jack's all-round contribution, especially in the last game, it was a total mystery. He couldn't have been worse, could he? He couldn't have done worse than Will Jacks did in that game.
Well, it was a pitch that, you know, any spinner would have been licking his lips to play on. So I do feel for him, but, you know, tours will go on, and he probably is, his stock is probably higher for not playing after that series. So there is a silver lining for Shoaib.
The post-mortem is underway from the hierarchy, and they're going to be looking at all aspects on the field and off the field. And one of the big off-field things is what went on in Noosa with Duckett and the stuff in New Zealand with Harry Brook. And they're talking about a curfew, Graham, now, potentially for players. I mean, it's that thing of, you know, players want to be treated as adults to an extent.
Yeah.
As we were saying off air, if you're if you win that series, no one's having a conversation about this.
It's a good idea to relax.
Yeah, which is what Harmy said earlier on. He feels.
Well, Travis Head, just for a bit of sort of context. Yeah, he's now viewed as a national hero because he's old school, drinks beer, sorts out the big, you know, parties for whenever Australia win. And he's been hailed as a hero. Had Australia lost, obviously he'd be a villain now.
Yeah.
So it is a very thin line. I always think if you win a game of cricket, if you win a test match, the celebrations are magnificent, and they're huge, and they should be. I think when you're losing, it's probably the time to get your head down and just hide a little bit. But I'll never buy into curfews, to be honest. I think you you know, if you do start doing that, then players are wandering in a minute past it and getting fined, and the papers start having photographers in bushes and all sorts. I don't think that's the way forward.
Yeah. Do you think it's enough for a coach to say to players, go out and express yourself, rather than sort of saying, yeah, but play the situation? Because there were certain times where our batting, they just didn't play the situation. And
yeah, I absolutely do. I think you have to say, look, express yourself. It's why you're here. But at the end of the day, it's runs and wickets. So if you're not piling on the runs or taking loads of wickets, your place is in jeopardy. So, yeah, some of the shots that, you know, England got out to at various times, but I've been there and I know the sort of white noise that gets behind your eyes when you're batting. You make some crazy mistakes and you walk off thinking, what have I done there? You know, and the whole world's just seen you do it. So I do feel for one or two of the boys, but like I say again, we lost 4-1. So there's, you know, the public aren't going to give you any leeway.
What was the mood like in the camp? You obviously would have been speaking to them while you're out there commentating and coming across the players and the coaches. I mean, were they kind of, how did that, did you notice it unravel test to test? Did the attitude and the atmosphere change?
Yeah, I actually think they did really well to win that game in Melbourne. From being 3-0 down, that is a time when it can all go to pot and you can get hammered 5-0. So the turnaround in Melbourne was amazing. The disappointing thing was that the week after in Sydney, on a brilliant pitch, ended up getting 100 runs too few in the first innings and then not being able to bowl Australia out when, you said it earlier, England had so many times when they had the upper hand, but just couldn't take it. Dropped so many catches, that's the big one. Dropping catches, and the Aussies were catching flies the whole summer. It was ridiculous. That Labuschagne, I don't know what he's got on his mitts, but I'm not going to say sandpaper, but it's sticky in his hands. He was amazing.
He is an irritant, though, isn't he, when he's fielding? God.
That's
when
one
you
word
hear
for it,
that, when you hear that stump, Mike, it's constant. You'd be tempted to, well, come on, mate, just shut up. I know it's
when you want someone like Andrew Flintoff playing for you, because no one said that nonsense when he was playing.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksby and Eddie Jacobs here on TalkSport. Former England spinner Graham Swanee's with us. He's fresh from Australia.
Jet lagged.
Well, I say fresh.
Not so fresh.
No, he got back on Saturday. Just that journey back, having done it a couple of times, absolutely wipes you. It takes you about a week to get back on an even keel, doesn't it?
Does it wipe you? But I was next to Josh Tongue on the plane, so that was great, just speaking to him and sort of reliving his experiences from those 3 games, because he was one of England's absolute shining lights.
Oh, yeah, he bowled well, didn't he? He's got the thing on Steve Smith, so he must be enjoying that.
We must look to the future then, and some of those players. I mean, Jacob Bethel's knock obviously was one of the silver linings, wasn't it? That was very impressive.
That was bizarre, seeing an Englishman actually having 25,000 Aussies willing him on to get 100 at Sydney. It was, I've never known that. So.
Probably wouldn't if it was to win the series. But
no, you're probably right. But that was like an old school 100, wasn't it? 160 balls and just like very, very disciplined and just taking his time. But he spent about 45 minutes in the 90s, and that was horrific. I was ill at the time. I was back in the hotel, absolutely COVID through the roof, and just come on, please do it. I'm desperate to go back to sleep. So, he's a great kid as well. So I was chuffed for him.
We were speaking to John Norman last week, and he was talking about the white ball team. And there has to be some doubt over whether Harry Brook is the right guy, especially given what happened in the winter. And he feels that Sam Curran should be the captain of the white ball team because he's got great experience. He plays in the IPL. He's got a point, hasn't he? But they seem to get these ideas that he's the anointed one. He's the one that's going to be Stokes' successor. And, I'd rather see him just bat, I think.
Well, I think he's a pretty good leader, to be fair. When he's on the field, he's a good skipper. He's got a good cricketing brain. Obviously, the stuff that happened in New Zealand that no one knew about is a bit of a blemish on his record. But, there'll always be this chat, won't there? Because you suddenly start thinking, well, who else could do it? Do we need someone squeaky clean, or is he going to play in the same image or whatever? So I get it, but the Currans, both Tom and Sam Curran, I think are brilliant cricketers. I've seen a lot in the 100 last year. They were incredible for Oval, whatever they're called these days.
Invincibles.
Yes.
I think they've changed this year. So,
have they?
But they were both brilliant last year. So I know Tom's not involved at the minute, but Sam, whether he'd be a good captain or not, I don't know. But I'm glad he's in the squad.
Often players' Test careers come to an end after an Ashes defeat. So who do you not expect to see again in the Test team, Graham?
It's a bit tricky when you look at it because they're quite a young team, most of them. Obviously, a couple of the bowlers. I hope Woody keeps going. I hope Mark Wood can play because absolutely love him to bits. But you'd think the next Ashes might be a bridge too far. How long Stokes is going to go on is, a big question, because he puts himself absolutely through the mill and his body's falling apart. Despite being the fittest bloke there, by the end he could barely walk.
He wouldn't want to go after something like this, though, would he?
No.
I think he'll want a chance to put it right.
I think you're right. So I wouldn't be surprised if no one retires, but you'll have natural turnovers. I think Ollie Pope. I really want to see Ollie Pope go back and score billions of runs and get back in. Because obviously with Bethel going in at 3, Hope's now got to find a new niche, got to find a way back into the team. But I think he's class. But he's got such a bad record against the Aussies that it wasn't a surprise when he got left out.
What about the wicket keeper?
Well, I like Jamie Smith, I do, but by the end he looked a bit frazzled, didn't he? By the end of the series, he was still keeping well, but the shot he played at Sydney will go down in history. So that's an interesting spot because there'll always be like keepers coming through. I'd love to see whoever's keeping be like the energy of the team.
Isn't Folks is clearly the best wicketkeeper, and he never let England down with a bat. I didn't understand that decision either. There have been some sort of cliquey decisions about this group. You feel they sort of like they've all decided that he's not the one, that James Smith is the one, and I think that sometimes that's a bit odd because you ideally it's a bit like goalkeepers. Wouldn't you go with the bloke who's the best at it?
Well, Jamie Smith is good. He's a brilliant cricketer, and I wouldn't be surprised if this summer he absolutely smashes it everywhere. He just had one of those tours, and I've been there. I've been on the receiving end as well.
Yeah.
In Australia, when it starts to go badly, and everything sort of piles up against you, it can be a pretty daunting place. So he was frazzled by the end, but I think he'll come back strong.
Every time he collected a ball in him, and they were on his case after that drop, was it mis-stumping or a drop? I can't remember, but he just. Yeah, they were on his back, weren't they, really, the crowd? It made it very difficult.
He did drop 20 catches in the series.
As a team, I know.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
I mean,
some of them were pretty hard, and the sort of ones that you don't get any stick for if you're playing well, but a couple of the dollies that went down are just like symptomatic of the tour's gone here. It's like everyone's desperate to go home.
Have they not got
Graham Swan speaking with Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Hawksbee and Jacobs a couple of weeks ago about the recent Ashes series, which, much like most of them, didn't go England's way. We've got play about to get back underway in Pallekele in Kandy. Second T20, just waiting to see exactly what the revised target will be. 111 needed from 58 deliveries is what I'm being told. So let's head out to a duo that will no doubt know more than I. Former England fast bowler Steve Harmison sitting alongside Roshan Abhisinga.
Thank you, John. Yes, you're spot on. 111 of 158 balls. And earlier on there was rain, and England looked good, and the game was nicely balanced. And it could have gone either way, but then the rain really played a spoil sport, and then the entire ground got covered by the covers, and thankfully the rain has gone away. The crowd has been very good. They have stayed on, which is wonderful news. And England's revised target with Butler and Banton together, it's 168 of 17 overs. So we're talking about 9.4 overs, that's 58 balls. And England are looking at 111. In the modern game, not beyond them, considering how good their batting is and how powerful they are. Right, you could hear the crowd in the background because they're getting excited. Eshan Malinga has to complete an over. He's got 4 deliveries left. It's Banton on strike. Here comes Malinga and bowls the first ball of, oh goodness, Malinga is on the ground. I hope he's all right. He's bowled a fairly high full toss, but he seemed to be in pain. He is in some pain here. I'm not so sure what's wrong, but that's not good news. He's holding on to his left side. No, that's not very good.
No, it's his shoulder. It looks as though it's his shoulder, and I wonder if he's just popped his shoulder out here. You know, it's always a nightmare after a rain breaking, making sure that you're up to speed, especially as a fast bowler, to get everything right, to make sure that muscles are loose and everything's in one place, ready to warmed up and ready to go. But that did not look good for Malinga. The positive sign is that he's moved his arm. His arm's now come down by his side. So because of that, it was a full toss from Malinga. It was actually, I think it possibly would have been close to a no ball. But then it's interesting that he has got his shoulder strapped up. He's got his shoulder. There's a strapping on his shoulder, which is not on his right shoulder. It's on his left shoulder. So I wonder if he's had an injury there before, and he's you can see just underneath his short sleeve shirt that there is a strapping on the left arm, but not on the right arm, which suggests that there's an issue with Malinga's shoulder coming into this game, and he's just pulled away and landed on the floor and possibly popped his shoulder out.
Well, that's very sad news, because he was going to be part of that World Cup squad, and I sincerely hope that it's nothing serious, because he would have worked hard. It would have been a big moment in his career, and you come up to a World Cup just few days away, and then this happens. Right, so Malinga is been helped off by the trainer and the physio of the Sri Lanka team, and they've got a single to make it 59 for 2.
And it was a no ball. It was given a no ball for height. It was given a no ball for a full toss.
Right, I didn't see the umpire signalling a free hit, so that's because we all focused on Malinga's injury. Yes, that's the confirmation that it is a no ball. So that's a gift for England, and Janit Lianage coming on. That's a big vacuum for him to fill, Lianage, because he's not a frontline bowler. He's a more than handy support bowler, but he's also coming into bowl to a free hit situation. Lianage comes in, Butler on strike. Oh, it's Banton who hits it. Butler it is, of a free hit on the bounce. So he recovers it. That's good. That's from a Sri Lankan point of view. England would have wanted more of that if they could.
Yeah, England would definitely have wanted more of that, but again, just getting themselves going. The crowd, the noise is up again. Not many people have left, Roshan, so we're seeing a good crowd.
Oh, that's four of a bottom edge. That stayed down a lot, and that's Banton who gets it down to third for 4. So that's a good start to the over. They've got already 7 runs. And 1 more ball to go. Lianage bowling a cutter into the pitch and a steer.
Yeah, steer, short third. Just, I don't think anticipated. It was an under edge. It's gone flying across the ground, and the worrying thing from the bowler's point of view, when it goes rolling across the ground, as good as the covers are here, the ball's going to get wet.
Lianage comes in, bowls another full toss, not put away for some reason, a single, and that concludes. Oh no, 1 more ball to go. In fact, 7.5, 65 or 64, is it?
64, I think. Just remove my water bottle from in front of the score. that wasn't as high, so they're not given a no ball.
Here is Lianage for the last ball of the over, and he gets another full toss, and it's 4, hit with a lot of power, and that concludes the over. That's a big over for England. Now they've brought their target to 99 of 54 balls. They're 69 for 2 at the end of the over. And a quick reminder, you're on TalkSport 2 and watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mentioned the crowd, Roshan, because we're expecting a festival of cricket here in Sri Lanka with the World Cup coming, Sri Lanka playing all their games, and we were expecting India-Pakistan, which was going to be a huge one. And now Pakistan aren't going to play India. I mean, that's a huge loss for the people of Sri Lanka who aren't going to be able to see that.
Yeah, that's a big loss, not just for the people. Yeah, people they would have loved to watch it at the grounds, but then what about the billions that were hoping for that game? Imagine the status of the broadcaster. I mean, that's one of the biggest games in the World Cup, and you lose it unless so. So the next question is, okay, Pakistan not playing India in the first round. So what are the chances if it's a semi-final or final?
they've got to stick to their guns, haven't they, really, and boycott that.
It's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. Here is Hasaranga coming in, and he looks to play the reverse. He does, actually, but that's Banton, but he doesn't get hold of it. A single.
Yeah, I just wonder on that situation. I wonder the sanctions on what happens to Pakistan. You know, I was part of the England squad that didn't go to Zimbabwe in 2003. Kenya didn't go. New Zealand didn't go to Kenya in that 2003. There was a couple of teams in 1996. So it's not the first time somebody's boycotted a global event.
Hasaranga comes in, tossing it up, driven down to deep mid wicket, might split the field. It's cut off, and a couple of runs again to Butler. That is, he's starting to move quite easily.
Yes, good work from Butler, just finding the gap in mid wicket. But I wonder if the sanctions against Pakistan will be held off just in case they do have to meet them in the semi-final or final, and that's held against them to make them have to play.
That's good bowling. Came down the pitch, looked to push it away. Hasaranga just dragged his length, only a single. 96 was different. 96 in Sri Lanka, it was an internal war that was happening between the Sri Lankan government and the Tamil Tigers. So there were bombs going everywhere. So that was more of a security reason. But this is like two countries, two governments. So that's different.
And it shouldn't come into it. Politics shouldn't come into sport.
Absolutely not. Here comes Hasaranga. Oh, and Banton, oh my goodness. He gets an almighty swing, gets hold of it, and hits it into the crowd for 6. And England are starting now to gradually accelerate. They got runs in the last over. They've got 10 in this over. They're well above the requirement.
Yeah, and that's one way to get a dry ball. Hasaranga, throw it above the eye line, let Tom Banton hit it out of the ground, and you might get a new ball. You are going to get a new ball, and a dry one, because that one has gone towards the scoreboard, or the big TV screen. It's gone over the fence. It's gone through the car park, into the trees, and the fourth umpire brings out a box of balls. This might not be a bad thing for Sri Lanka to get a drier ball, especially when the wrist spin of Hasaranga's probably struggling to grip it. We've seen balls in this over go to the deep in the field, and outside the 30-yard circle, that's where the likelihood is going to be a lot more wet patches than actually there are inside the 30-yard circle.
But just looking at the way Banton bats, I'm a little bit surprised that he's not one of England's first choice players, because I mean he packs a punch. He's a powerful player. That's 6 over mid wicket, the reverse sweeps, the slogs he plays, reverse slogs. I mean, to me he can be a very good player. Here comes Hasaranga, goes to him, and again tossed up and pushed down towards long off for a single. They've got 11 runs in the over. They're all right with the run rate. They're fine, in fact. 80 for 2 into the 9th over. 1 ball to go.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Tom Banton one, but Tom Banton's an interesting player because it's sort of his second coming.
Butler looks to swing. He doesn't time it, but they might get into the gap. They'll be happy with 1. So they've milked Hasaranga for 12 runs in that over. So now they're down to 87 of 48. It's 81 for 2 at the end of 9 overs. And a very quick reminder that you're listening to TalkSport 2 and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
Yeah, Tom Banton he made his debut for England in ODI cricket in 2020. So he's been around for a little bit of a while on England's radar. He came in as a young player with a huge ceiling level, thinking good things, powerful player. He got a big 100 a couple of seasons ago in first class cricket and then didn't kick on. So he's had some peaks and troughs in his career, and it's great to see him back. He's had a couple of bad injuries as well, really bad injuries. So to see him get a chance and to come back, it just shows that sometimes stepping away from the game, going through a little bit of hardship and then working your way back up can do you the world of good, and that's brilliant from Tom Banton.
Well, Lalage comes in now, starting a new over, and Butler slices it down to deep cover. Might be taken. It is taken, and Sri Lanka have got the wicket of Butler. That was nicely bowled, and Butler was looking to go more extra cover, but he sliced it, and it was a very good catch running in, and wicket number 3 goes down.
That was a fantastic catch. Excellent bit of bowling. A really, really good bit of bowling from Will Alligator. He's just held it back a touch. He's just held it back a touch. He's not, he took pace off it and said to Josh Butler, you're going to have to put everything on it, like Adil Rashid has done before. Dawson bowled a bit quicker. Will Alligator there has just held it back a touch, bowled it a little bit slower, and it's just drifted in towards sort of middle in leg stump. And there's a little bit of turn, and because Butler's trying to hit it against the spin, all of a sudden, because he's looking to hit it more down the ground as opposed to hitting it squarer, and he's lost his shape, got a leading top edge, and an excellent diving catch. 39 for Butler, England 81 for 3, 87 off 47 balls. And Harry Brook coming to the crease, and talking about Tom Banton, England are going to need Tom Banton just to navigate this next few overs, not wanting to lose 2 wickets quick space of time, and potentially having 2 batters new at the crease when the run rate is in excess of 10, 11 and over.
Well, Alligators. So Brook just taking a very good look around the field, getting his gloves on. He's got that man at deep cover, long off out. And Kusal Mendes' advice is to bowl slower, looks for turn. 150 is just telling him to try and get the ball to turn. That's his advice. Let's see. Will Alligator comes in, bowls, and little chip by Brook. Will Alligator is after it, makes very sure that it's only a single, because he quickly recovers on his follow through. He's a fighter. Dunit Will Alligator is a young man, but a real street smart cricketer.
He is. I think he's been a real find for Sri Lanka in these 5 games, 4 3/4 games so far. I thought he was brilliant in the 50 over contest, and he wanted to be in the contest. That's what I like about the boy. Wants to be in the contest.
Nicely bowled again. This is good bowling, and Banton a little bit suspicious as he pushed at it, and the ball just trickles away on the offside to the captain. And there is no run. Will Alligator comes in from round the wicket. Banton comes down the pitch and hits it to the area that's open, and Ovex recover for 6. And he's a powerful striker, and he makes hitting sixers look quite easy. That shot is a confirmation of that.
I mean, we've seen this shot from Harry Brook in Colombo many times off the seamers, just leaning back, getting to the pitch of the ball, leaning back and easing it, not looking to hit it too hard. You see again the thing I keep mentioning, when he's reverse sweeping to try and hit in the air, his hands are very, very high on the bat. Looks like he's got a longer handle bat, and that's to try and get the elevation.
Here is Will Alligator bowls, and Banton pushes down towards a deep long off for a single. They've got 8 runs in the over with that single, 1 ball to go. 89 for 3 into the 10th. And Will Alligator, to his credit, I think he's bowled a good over, barring that 6. Can he finish strong? So the towers are out. That can be a concern for the Sri Lankan bowlers, because gripping the ball, it's not easy. Kusal Mendes just waving his gloves, just wanting to make sure that the fielders are in the right place. In fact, he's just got the attention of Long On, who's been moved a little bit wider. That's where Alligator comes in, and down the wicket comes Brook and hits it hard. Mid-on. Oh no! He couldn't get across, and that's 4. It's hit with a lot of power. For a moment I thought that Mid-on had it covered, but he just couldn't get there. 93 for 3 at the end of 10. And you're on TalkSport 2, and also watching us on TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
That was brilliant from Harry Brook. He's just stood there and watched. I mean, Kusal Mendes has stopped the game to move Long On about 3-4 metres to his right, and Harry Brook has run down the wicket and hit it 5 metres to the fielder's left, and he's hit it that hard the fielder couldn't get anywhere near it. It was a brilliant shot from Harry Brook, and one, I think, given the think tank of Sri Lanka about where they go next. Do they go with a seamer? Remember, I mean, Patarana bowled an over at Harry Brook in the last game. 3 or 4 short balls and really roughed up the England captain. One, he played a pull shot, which I think would have been very, very good if I'd played it as a world-class number 11. But I mean, a high-class number 4, he looked a little bit, not all at sea, but he ruffled the feathers of the England captain. So I'm pleased to see the think tank have gone, right, we need a bit of pace on the ball. We're going to go with our fastest bowler.
93 for 3, 75 or 42 shouldn't be difficult. And I think it's another change of ball because, see, as we know that the covers are having a lot of water, a lot of moisture, a lot of water, so that got lost or stuck in the covers. So there is definite logic in changing the ball because it will be very, very difficult for the Sri Lankan bowlers to grip. So the second ball change in many overs as Pathirana it is, who will start off. He will bowl to Banton, who's on strike. So Sri Lanka under a bit of pressure here because that target is well within England, 75 or 42. So we're talking little over 10 runs and over. England have been scoring at 11. Deep third on the boundary, cover on the boundary, mid-off inside the circle, backward squaring out, and so is long on. So just 4 fielders allowed. Now fine leg goes out, so they'll need a fielder in. So are they allowed 5, is it? Yeah, I think they're allowed 5 now. Here comes Pathirana to bowl to Banton. And slower delivery, and he played at it, pace off, and just pushed at it, and the ball popped in the air, and they crossed over for a single.
Good start, really, really good start. Good execution, good line, good length. Slower ball. Banton probably waiting on the back foot for something a little bit fuller, a little bit wider, and obviously a lot quicker. But good start from the Sri Lanka fast bowler.
So it's the captain on strike. Harry Brook settles in. So here comes Pathirana as he leans forward. Comes in to bowl to Brook and bowls short, and Brook hits it. Hits it really hard, and there was confusion. He wasn't sure whether he wanted that single. He was thinking about it. But Banton called him through, so quickly found Brook scampering to the other end, but just a single of that delivery too. So 2 singles of the first 2 balls. As you said, bit of extra pace onto the batter, a little bit quicker than they would have possibly anticipated or liked. So spread out field. So backward square leg is out, fine leg is out, long on is out on the leg side. Third and square. Square cover, that is, and a deep third are the others on the offside as Pathirana starts a little bit slow, walks a few paces and then leans forward as he runs in. Bowl to Banton, and bowls a ball of good length. Again hitting the bat really hard. And Banton just gets his bat down in time, pushes it down to long on for a single.
Yeah, good delivery. Keeping the stumps in play, especially to Banton, who will probably move a little bit more leg side than what Brook will. Harry Brook will stand more be in a stiller, stable position in and around his sort of big, his big 2 toes, left and right foot, and in and around that sort of middle and off stump, and try and play him from a stable base where Banton might look to give himself some room and utilise that offside.
There comes Pathirana and bowls the captain. That's well bowled. He was giving himself room. He went wide of the off stump. It is 96 for 3, 10 overs and 4 balls have been bowled, which means England needs 72 of 38 balls. And let's join John Norman.
Thank you, Roshan and Steve Harmison. So, 72 needed from 38 balls, 96 for 3 England, and we're just seeing a replay of the Phil Salt dismissal. Pathirana striking in his first over, Salt just chipping to that wide first slip. Since then, England have lost Jacob Bethel and Joss Buttler along the way, but they've got a lot of batting to come. Rain-reduced game, so very, very short from Pathirana, and that will be called wide. And with that slinging action of his, he is going to pick up wides now and again. Normally, the wide would be sprayed down the leg or the offside. This one was just dragged well short.
Yeah, he's nearly pitching out on his toes. Well too short there. I mean, even I would have struggled at 6'5" to get that. Harry Brook had no chance. Have to re-bowl that last one.
He is indeed. Harry Brook, 1 scoring shot, 6. Actually, no, that was Banton. Sorry. Thinking of that shot over extra cover. It was actually Banton. Steps away and he flies this over deep point and away for a 1-bounce forward as Brook. It's just see ball, hit ball at the moment. With 7 wickets in hand, that makes sense. Creating his own width, and England needs 67 from 37.
Yeah, and that's always costly, isn't it, when you've got bowled that extra ball. He's gone for pace. Harry Brook, the skipper, has backed away to the left side. And he's flayed that over backward point. Went like an absolute tracer bullet. But had no chance out there. 4 runs.
All right, Ravi. Shastri, that is, not Papara. Patrarana in past the umpire, touch wide of the crease, and this time he goes over extra cover, does Brook, and reaches it. No fielder at long off. Back-to-back boundaries. And England, who were behind the game when the rain came, are now putting themselves into a glorious position to go on and win this match. A wicket or 2 here, and it will look completely different. But with Brook starting to find his range, and Banton 32 from 19. Problems just started to mount a touch for Sri Lanka, who need a wicket. Alex Tudor.
Yeah, fantastic. The back end there from Harry Brook, just exposing his stumps, telling the bowler, if you're going to try and get me, go at the stumps, which allows him to free his arms. He had the length that he was looking for, was able to get up and underneath it, over wide, long off. Fantastic cricket shot. We've seen him do that so often recently, normally dancing down the wicket.
On the reverse and hit on the pads is Tom Banton. Hasaranga, who bowled a really good first over, he was hit into the, in fact, he's getting a new ball for a 6 hit by Tom Banton in his second. And now he's back for a 3rd, and Sri Lanka needs someone just to bowl a couple of tidy overs here. He's in, and again stepping away is Banton, fielded at long on the bounce. So both of England's right-handed batters, Brook and Banton, using the crease well. They're not really coming down the track so much, but they're moving all over the place. 108 for 3 then England. 60 runs needed from 2 balls shy of 6 overs. Hasaranga in, and he goes towards mid-wicket, does Brook, and the ball's going to continue on and on. And just lands and rebounds back onto the field of play via that green metallic fencing that surrounds much of this pitch in Pallekele. 54 needed from 33. And the camera picking up a look of concern on the face of the coach, Jayasuriya.
It does make stroke play look ridiculously easy at times, Harry Brook. Hasaranga just dragging that down.
Touch Fuller pushed up to long on for a single. 115 for 3 England.
As you rightly said, both batters are using their crease, using the depth, messing around, playing reverse sweeps, whatever, but he was able to get up and underneath that, standing deep on the stumps and punching that for 6. Sailed into the night sky. Here the skipper.
Hasaranga again. Banton stepping away again. This keeps just a touch low, and it's pulled upright stance down to Shanaka at long on. Face of concern now. 23 from 8 for Harry Brook, 34 from 22. Harry Brook looks much happier out there with the bat in hand than he does facing the media at the moment. Obvious reasons. This is his happy place. Down the track, Hasaranga sees him coming, so fires it down towards the pads, but Brook can adjust and push this towards mid-wicket for a single. That's the end of the over. 10 runs coming from it, and England now favourites to win this game. 51 needed, 5 overs to get them in, 7 wickets in hand.
I suppose that's a bit of a discussion, isn't it, Johnny, where as an England fan and supporter, you just want to see him do what he does best, and that's just batting. That's what he makes it look ridiculously easy. He's got all the shots. He's that X-Factor type player. It's just the other side of it, isn't it? You know, the captaincy side of it, really. As you said, he has got a good cricket brain. You know, you listen to the likes of Joe Root and stuff, he does think of the game slightly different. That's the other things that you need as a leader, and I don't know if that comes natural for him. Maybe you just sort of say, right, okay, listen, just worry about batting and scoring us runs and winning us games.
Here we go then. Tom Banton and Harry Brook, with Brook facing, and it's Paterana picked up 1 wicket. And he's in now, and they'll have to bowl that one again. Just getting the radar wrong. Wide called. And such an interesting bowler to watch, isn't he? Bowled in the power play today and in the first T20. Sri Lanka needed wickets in that first one. A little bit less so today, but he still bowled the first over. Went for 10, but picked up the wicket of Phil Salt. And now Sri Lanka really need him to nip one of these two out, otherwise this game is going to finish in a hurry. Top of his mark. And here he goes again. Does get this one. Harry Brook launches into a length delivery, and it's up and over extra cover for another 6. It's easy pickings now for Brook. He's enjoying his work. England all over Sri Lanka. 44 runs away from a series win.
Yeah, Pathurana missing his length, sort of in that slot. Harry Brook again just walks across to the leg side, freeing up his hands and getting the ball he was looking for. He's such a great exponent of hitting up and over extra cover, and that sailed in over the boundary. Boundary first, ball 6. The captain, Sri Lanka needs a wicket, turn to his most potent bowler, but he's costly at the minute. His 2.1 overs gone for 31.
I wonder if he's going to try and pitch it up Yorker length, base of the stumps. So if he does that, fine leg and third are up within the circle. And if I'm wondering that, I imagine so is Harry Brook. Does go full, misses his mark, and that's laced over extra cover for another 6. Majestic batting from Harry Brook. 30 not out from just 10 balls, and England are racing home in Pallekele.
Well, this is class from the skipper Harry Brook. He's showing an array of shots here. Pathurana trying to get that Yorker in, missing his length in that slot. And Harry Brook's far too good a player to miss out. That's his area. The other one had a little bit more height. That one's flat. Just gone over the Toblerone, the boundary mark. Back-to-back boundaries. Bowler under pressure, skipper under pressure. Harry Brook making it look easy at the moment.
Back-to-back 6s. Harry Brook readies himself. Paterana is in, and past the umpire, goes very short, and Harry Brook is going to get caught. First slip, Hasaranga running round from behind the keeper Mendes. Harry Brook couldn't get quiet enough on the ball, and boy oh boy, if Sri Lanka ever needed a wicket more, it's now. Brook's got to go for 36. Sri Lanka have been given a lifeline, and Paterana has struck.
Well, backing. Harry Brook was backing that it was going to be a short ball, but it was slightly slower, so he had to fetch it a little bit. It's hit the toe of his bat. He had no idea where it's going. Hasaranga running around behind the wicket keeper and taking a comfortable catch. The skipper Shanaka asking his most potent bowler Pathurana to come on and get a wicket. It's been expensive. First 2 balls come back, got the important wicket of Harry Brook. He was looking dangerous, and while he was there, the game was going to be finishing very quickly.
Right, can Sri Lanka go bang bang, or will Tom Banton just pick up where his skipper left off? Sam Curran is the new batter. Didn't get to bat, did he, in the last match? And he's about to face his first delivery. He picked up an injury in the field. He was having to have running repairs to his little finger on his left hand when he was bowling. Out there now. Tasharana just at the top of his mark. He's ready to get going. Just rotating the ball in his hand, turning the seam a touch. And he's in now. First ball, and that is bang on the money. Full delivery on leg stump. Sam Curran just swings the bat round and pushes it up to mid-on for a single. Gets off the mark. Brooke was a touch unfortunate with that dismissal. He didn't really need to get that much on the ball. The only thing he had to avoid was what occurred, and it was the toe end that did him, wasn't it? Any other part of the bat, that would have just gone to the boundary. You know, both third and fine leg were up, but the toe end meant the ball went straight up in the air. The keeper wasn't going to get to it either, so Hasaranga was alert to the opportunity, and it was actually a pretty good diving effort. Patarana again, this is a fraction wide, cut square of the wicket, fielded on the boundary at deep point. End of a good over. Oh no, one more ball, because that first ball was wide. And Patarana, I don't know if he's talking to Tom Banton at the non-striker's end, or just talking across him to one of his teammates. Either way, quite animated. He believes Sri Lanka can still win this, but England, Alex Judy, well, he's rather in their position than Sri Lanka's. But one wicket here, and you know, good tidy over, and that run rate will start to push up. Pressure will be put on England. And Sam Curran to face the final ball of the over. Patarana's in, outside edge as Sam Curran tries to run the ball down to through vacant first slip, and the ball dies in front of Mendes where it's fielded. So after 2 sixes and a wide to the first 3 deliveries of the over, final 4 balls went for just 2 runs, and the big wicket of Harry Brook. England need 36 runs to win. 4 overs remaining. You're listening to TalkSport 2 or watching us on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. 132 for 4.
Another close finish here. You say while Harry Brook was there, the game was going to finish very quickly. Tom Banton's looked good. And he's still there. Sam Curran coming in a position where he's seen this a few times in T20 cricket around the world. He's a very good finisher. Still have strength and depth. Will Jacks, Overton, Dawson, Rashid and Archer.
Here's Hasaranga, cut away by Tom Banton, and for 4. Wow, I didn't expect that to be the case. Dhananjaya is still on the field as a substitute fielder. Hasaranga doesn't look too happy with that. Either way, it's calm as you like. Through long off from Banton. Hasaranga bowling his 4th and final over.
Dragging that down a little bit, Johnny, giving Banton enough time on the back foot. Sort of standing from a...
This time he goes through wide mid-on for a single. Banton moves to 40, and Sri Lanka will be wanting to bowl at Sam Curran here. Can they keep him on strike? Can they keep him bogged down? Can they get rid of the left-hander? 31 needed for England to win the match and take the series here on TalkSport 2. And Sri Lanka, well, you feel they've got to take... Do they have to bowl England out? You feel they probably do. Here's Hasaranga, and Sam Curran steps back, and he's reached the boundary. Again, it was a touch short from Hasaranga. It allowed Curran to play from deep within his crease. He opened up his body and just pulled that through mid-wicket and away for 4. And any pressure that was brought to this innings through the dismissal of Brook is starting to disappear.
Yeah, bad bowling by Hasaranga, giving the batters far too much time. Tom Banton did it from a standing position, which shows you the tremendous power he hit it.
Touch more loop this time from Hasaranga, but that's pushed out towards point for a single. England can just about do it in singles from here. 26 needed from 20 deliveries. Tom Banton is putting down those 2 drops in the field. He's putting that behind him, and he's also staking a claim for a starting berth in the upcoming T20 World Cup. Can he see England home from here? Hasaranga, 2 balls left of his 4. He hasn't picked up a wicket today, and he's going at 10s. In now, and he will have to bowl that again down the leg side.
Yeah, he's not backed it up. No Brook going in the last over. He's gone for 11 so far with that wide delivery. It's been expensive.
Oh, genuine outside edge and a misfield at first slip, or running around from short third, and that's not going to improve the mood in the camp. Lanka running around from short third. He's made an absolute meal of that. It was actually a good ball from the leg spinner. He's got the outside edge. The ball that is pitched outside leg stump, turned across the right-handed Banton, who, I mean, did he open the face? Or was that a genuine edge? Either way, that should have been fielded. It should have been a single. It's ended up being 4. And that will have to be bowled again as well. Down the leg side. It's all starting to go wrong for Sri Lanka. 20 needed from 19 deliveries for England to win the match and take the series. Banton will take a single through mid-wicket. He moves to 45. End of over number 14 of what is now a 17-over innings. And I don't think England are going to need all 17 tunes.
No, they're not. No, Hasaranga's it's been disappointing. Didn't really bowl well in the first game. He's not backed it up here in the second game. His 4 overs cost him 44. And as I said, it was the spin for England that sort of held Sri Lanka back, where the seamers seem to be expensive. He's not backed it up really. It'll be disappointing for his captain. As you say, England march on. Tom Banton's looked really good. Hits the ball with tremendous power. Just going back to that ball in that Hasaranga over where he hit it from the crease. He didn't rock back onto the back foot like Sam Curran did. He just did it from the crease, from a standing position, and he hit it with tremendous power, wide, long off. Just shows you, the potential, the talent of this young man. As Harmy said, he's second coming, burst onto the scene. There was a lot of talk about him from Somerset and everyone. Didn't quite happen from him. Been away from the game, come back, looks a much better player now.
Dasun Shanaka has brought himself onto bowl, and he's misfielded from his own bowling, hit straight back at him, timed nicely, but I feel that he should have stopped that, prevented a run, and that moves Banton on to 46. 18 needed from 17, and whilst the Sri Lankan fans who've turned up in their thousands are still enjoying their evening, like there's a feeling that this game is done. They'd swap it for a T20 World Cup though, Jude, wouldn't they? Current facing, if you were just joining us, news is that Shanaka's in on the pads, push to square leg, and actually that's nicely done, because there's 2 fielders out there, one back for the square, one at mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket, and Sam Curran manages to push the ball between the 2 and comes back for 2. He moves to 8. Pakistan have announced that the Pakistani government decided they will not play their match in the upcoming T20 World Cup against India. That news breaking a couple of hours ago. Shanaka, it could be a run out here. If Shanaka hits, then, well, if it hit, Tom Banton would have been run out for 46. He's picked up the ball in his follow-through. He's about 2/3 down the track. He turns. Banton's pretty much given it up. And he's missed the stumps by some distance.
Yeah, he's on toast there. Initially, Sound Current was set off and then decided no. Could have been out by a country mile. But the skipper, Shanaka, has missed. And he fights on.
Yeah, that was a mix-up, really. Banton was really... He was down the track, and I suppose when the ball came off the bat, he's not thinking it's going to be fielded by... Pulled and just dropped short. Well, it would have gone straight to mid on, but the fielder's back on the boundary. So Sam Curran would take the single. Yeah, it was a bad mix-up, but I think that is Banton there, because he's not realising that the ball's going straight back to the bowler and that he's going to collect it. So he's nearly halfway down the track by the time he realises he's got to get back. Never a run there, but in the end, no damage done. Yep, so no Pakistan-India in the group stages at the T20 World Cup. So we'll see how that one plays out. Full and driven and in the air and just drops short and bounces over. One of the shorter fielders in the Sri Lankan side, running around from long on. And Banton hits 50 in the second T20. Tom Banton in the England side because of injury to Ben Duckett, coming in at 4. And England may well have stumbled upon something here.
Well, it's all about taking your chance. Good player now. He's had a good 18 months or so, coming with a lot of weight of runs into this England team. Much better player now.
Here he is again. This is play and a miss. No real foot movement, and readies himself to smack this through the covers, and in the end it's kind of flirts at a change-up ball from Shanaka that goes through to the wicket-keeper. That's the end of over number 15, and England need 11 runs from 2 overs to win the match, take the series, and they are in a fantastically strong position here, Toots.
As you say, yeah, you're right. As you said earlier, Johnny, about maybe throwing up a few decisions that have to be made. As you say, Ben Duckett getting injured. We'd most probably felt that he had a great chance the way he plays spin in the subcontinent. But Tom Banton has come in, batted at 4, and he's look assured. Looked good in the last game before he got out. Played some audacious reverse sweeps for 6 and 4 pretty much at will. And during his 50 again, he has shown his array of shots, his power, and you're going to need that. You know, spins coming up against you in these tournaments. Yes, he had a couple of drops earlier on that he would have liked to have taken, but he's made up for it with a sort of match winning, you would like to think, 50 for England.
Yeah, Andrew McKenna sent me an ICC statement in the Pakistan-India situation. I'll read it out in a second. Patarana, this is it for Sri Lanka. It's all on this over, you feel. Patarana can nip out both these batters and go for 2 or 3. We might well have a game. He's in now, and it's... Oh, he nearly gets one as well. It pops up just to the left of the bowler. It's a shot at the stumps and non-striker's end as well. Yeah, but the single is completed. The ICC notes the statement that the government of Pakistan has made regarding the decision to instruct its national team. This was a Pakistani government decision, remember, not the PCB, to selectively participate in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. While the ICC awaits official communication from the PCB, this position of selective participation is difficult to reconcile with the fundamental premise of a global sporting event where all qualified teams are expected to compete on equal terms. Ha! That's funny. Per the event schedule. I mean, the teams don't compete on equal terms, do we? Do they? We know that. Patarana again, and this is pushed up to mid-off. Again, there's a shot at the stumps from the fielder running in from mid-off, and Shanaka manages to throw them down. Stumps are all over the place.
TV umpire to director, we got umpire referral for run out at bowler's end. Can you give me the side on angle, please?
ICC tournaments are built on sporting integrity, competitiveness, consistency and fairness, and selective participation undermines the spirit and sanctity of the competitions.
Yeah, bat is grounded when the bells are off. I have a decision for the big screen.
It's going to be not out. I mean, again, you know, you could pick so many holes in that sentence. It's ridiculous. I mean, you only have to go back to the last T20 World Cup, the farce that surrounded the scheduling for the semi-finals, you know, which clearly favoured India. This is the problem. Nobody really sees the ICC at times as a, you know, as an independent. On the pads of Sam Curran, pushes this up to long on for a single. While the ICC respects the roles of governments in matters of national policy, that's good of them. This decision is not in the interest of the global game or the welfare of fans worldwide, including millions in Pakistan. The ICC hopes that the PCB will consider the significant and long-term implications for cricket in its own country. Well, it's a government decision, but I'm sure the PCB will be considering that, as this is likely to impact the global cricket ecosystem. Sounds a bit threatening. Which in itself it's a member and beneficiary of. That is true. Short delivery from Patirana, and this will be called wide. It's wide on height and probably wide on width as well. The ICC's priority remains the successful delivery of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, which should also be the responsibility of all of its members, including the PCB. It expects the PCB to explore a mutually acceptable resolution which protects the interests of all stakeholders. So the ball has been firmly put in the PCB's camp. So this is a Pakistan government decision.
And here in that one game, Johnny, potentially for India, it cost them 38 million.
It will cost who 38 million?
For that game not going on, like through sponsorship and everything like that, that Pakistan-India game.
And the rest, I think it'd be more. Who will pay for it though? Who will end up paying for that? 7 runs needed, 9 deliveries. England 161 for 4. Patirana is in, he goes full. 4th stump line. And this is pushed up to long on. And the fielder has just caught on his heels a touch. Looked like the batters were going to be happy for just a single, but Banton comes back for a second after Curran screams for him to run through. And that was really good running from Curran. I think Banton was happy to stay at the non-striker's end. He was mindful that he was going to have to call Curran through to the danger end. But you could, I'm sure, pick up the yells from the stump mic. Banton 53, Curran 11. 2 balls left in the over. Patirana in again, he goes full again. Banton just steers this out to deep point for a single. Moves to 54. 4 runs needed from 7 balls, and Harry Brook is about to taste success as England white ball skipper for the 2nd series in a row after the disappointments in New Zealand before the winter, or before the Christmas, ahead of the T20 World Cup. Going to get buoyed by what was turning out to be a very comfortable run chase. Last ball of Patirana's over. 4 needed. And Sam Curran at the crease. England 1 hit away. Patirana's in, and Sam Curran just guides this down to 3rd. Takes a single. End of the over. Nice spell of bowling from Patirana. His 4 overs have gone for 47. He's picked up 2 wickets in there. But England on the verge of success. And Pallekele 165 for 4.
Yeah, just a hit away now. They've been good. As you said, I think Adil Rashid at the beginning was saying like they feel like all areas are covered within this England squad and this team. They've got pace, they've got spin, and in the batting they have a lot of power. You've got people staking a claim, Tom Banton being one of them. Ben Duckett went down with an injury, allowed an opportunity, and he's been good. 29 in the first innings, in the first game, and looked good until he got out. It was a good catch that got rid of him, and he's looked good for his 50 not out so far.
Sam Curran ready, and this is a slower delivery from Leonardo, who completed the over, but Malinga couldn't bowl earlier today after he picked up that injury to his left shoulder. It's a slower, shorter ball, and Sam Curran has just let it go through to the keeper, and he's looked across to the square leg umpire and asked for it to be called wide. That hasn't happened, I don't think. There seems to be a bit of confusion out there. Dot ball is up on the scoreboard, so England still need 3. They've got 5 balls to get them in. Wicket here would be interesting. Curran is ready. Leonardo's in, and that single taken to long on. In fact, it's going to be 2. It's going to be shine the stumps, and I don't think the throw was good enough. Otherwise, I think Tom Banton's out. Direct hit definitely out, and a better throw, I think, would have seen Banton short. But the reaction of everyone on the field is that Banton's okay. Yeah, it needed to be. Do you know what, Choose? If the bowler, Leonardo, is standing in front of the stumps and takes that in one motion, a bit like Dhoni used to do, possibly Banton's in trouble there. Direct hit, and he's definitely gone.
Duncan Fletcher's big thing. I think Matt Pryor talks about it as well, as he always wanted you in front and then move with the ball with your hands, sort of have your feet by the stumps and then move in a motion. I think, as you said, if he was in front, I think he would have been in trouble. The throw was good.
I think
it took him a while to gather.
The force of the ball, it was fired in so fast, it's going to push your hands back a fraction before you then come back to hit the stumps. Either way, 1 run to win. It's hit down the ground and fielded brilliantly by Leonardo, by his bootstraps. And Sam Curran's thinking, hang on, how have I not won the game there?
Yeah, he's hit it with tremendous power. He was nursing a finger injury in the first half of the game, fielding one, and he had to bowl the second to last over. It looks all right with the way he's hitting it.
1 needed from 3 balls. Sam Curran has smashed this up and over. Long on for 6. England seal the victory in some style. Leonardo dropping 1 short. Curran took it on, and that's the game. England win by 6 wickets on DLS. They take the series 2-0 with 1 to play. And truth be told, Choose, they've just been too strong for Sri Lanka today and in that first T20.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny. They've been really good. You said all aerial bases look good. The seamers leaking a little bit. Always good to see Archer back bowling. He's been back to back, and it's always good to see him out there. And as you say, with the spin twins, Adil Rashid, Liam Dawson, they showed why it's important that they're in the side. They've got that experience, they have that guile, doing it different ways. Adil Rashid bowling it with flight and mystery. Liam Dawson sort of firing it in, but doing it extremely well. As you say, with the batting, well, they bat deep. Everyone in the side bats. And you say Salt, he was good in the first game, got done early in the second, but Butler was looking dangerous. Brooke, the skipper, came out and played a little cameo and showed all the shots that he can. And Tom Banton, who has taken the mantle with Ben Duckett being injured, and he's come in and given a slight headache to the selectors and the captain and how they move forward. But they look good and they move on.